all goes in the future. We're going to have that conversation with him in just a little bit. But up next, though, we're going to talk about sports, America's love affair with live sports in particular. That is just one of the many topics we're going to dive into with the one and only Boardroom co-founder and CEO, Rich Kleiman, when he joins us right here at the table when Squawk returns.
Rather than get rich quick, I believe in get rich slow. The high-yield cash account at Public actually had higher rates than anything else I was able to find online. I don't want to be losing sleep over having made risky investments. I needed something stable that could really give me long-term financial benefits. I know my money's working hard for me, and I know I can access it anytime I need it.
To have gold coins in my possession, that hard asset is an insurance, you might say, against the paper dollar. It's not for my insurance, but it's for my daughter's and the grandchildren's insurance. Whereas keeping a lot of cash in your bank account can really almost end up being nothing. You have to keep cash, but you don't have to keep everything in cash, and you don't have to put everything in the stock market, and you don't have to put it all in a bond market. You do a little bit of everything. In fact, I sleep better with gold than I do with the stock market because it's tangible, it's there.
If you've bought gold in the past or would like to learn more about why physical gold should be an important part of your portfolio, pick up the phone and call to receive the complete guide to buying gold, which will provide you with important, never-seen-before facts you should know about making gold, silver, and platinum purchases.
Call now to also receive our new 2025 Global Gold Forecast Special Report. Inside, you'll find the real issues on why you need to start owning gold today. You can also receive a copy of our new report, Protection in the Risk Zone. U.S. Money Reserve can walk you through the 3 simple steps of transferring your existing 401k or IRA into a precious metals IRA backed by physical gold to further protect your assets from market instability. Pick up the phone and call U.S. Money Reserve, America's gold authority, right now to get your free gold kit and IRA information, including the 3 simple steps for transferring your existing 401k, 403b, and traditional IRA. With more than 2 decades in business, over $3 billion in transactions, and more than 1 million clients worldwide, U.S. Money Reserve is one of the most dependable gold distributors in America.
My name is Josh Brown. The best stocks in the market is very simple. These are stocks with good fundamentals in the process of rising higher.
Join Pro for exclusive access to Josh Brown's best stocks in the market at cnbc.com/beststocks.
Coming in hot right now. Sports broadcasting rights getting a huge shakeup this week with ESPN and Fox announcing they are teaming up to create a single streaming service. Also, Paramount now striking a $7.7 billion rights deal with the UFC. Lots going on in sports and live sports in particular. Here to talk about that and so much more, Rich Kleiman is Boardroom's co-founder and CEO. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, guys.
We've got a big event coming up in September, which we'll promote
Yes, we do.
and talk about in just a little bit. But let's talk about all of these rights deals, because it just seems like every other day there's a new deal and all the big networks are trying to get in on the action. What do you make of the NFL Red Zone deal and ESPN to begin with?
I actually really thought it was a great deal. I was pretty impressed by the structure of it. It felt like an NBA trade, to be honest with you. I think at some point there's going to be like a Shams, like a Wojnarowski or something of reporting on all of these media deals because of just how like unique they are and how much kind of change there is in the landscape. But I think the idea that the NFL, I think, did not necessarily want to keep managing NFL TV or the NFL Network. And the idea that ESPN now can manage the NFL Network, can take on Red Zone. I think it was very cool that ESPN has the potential to take the Red Zone brand and scale that a bit. And I think the fact that the NFL was able to retain NFL Films and NFL.com, 2 properties that are probably best served with them overseeing, really was a great win-win deal for everyone,
Okay, so
and honestly a win for fans. And I think the only thing that is important in deals like this, and I've said this when I spoke to Jimmy, is the storytelling around exactly what this all means, so the consumer can take advantage of just how unique these deals
Okay, so
are.
the one question, though, and it won't come up for a long time, but the next time NFL rights come up for grabs, and ESPN is a bidder, and so is Google and Amazon, everybody else bidding for whatever that one package is. If you're the NFL, or I should say, yes, if you're the NFL, are you going to sit there and say, the ESPN bid a little bit lower, actually, on a cash basis than whoever so-and-so is, but you know what, we own 10% of them now, so we should probably do that?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think these are two, like, formidable organizations that understand the business on both sides of it. And in reality, like, the NFL's done a great job of creating moments that they can sell, whether it's the Christmas Day game to Netflix, the Thursday night game to Amazon. I think the games that they're bringing international obviously bring a whole new opportunity. And ESPN's had a relationship with the NFL for a long time, and they'll continue to. They get more games out of this deal with the NFL. And listen, I think NFL is going to have to do what's best for its owners and its organization, and the rights deals will continue to go up. And the tech companies, when this deal is up, will obviously come into play, which will raise prices. But I think the uniqueness of what these leagues are doing now in creating these packages and being able to create moments, which is important because when you see how long an NBA season is, for instance, having an NBA Cup in the middle of the season is a way to create some stakes and some excitement around something because the season is long. And everything is accessible to us now that's taken down some of the value in what used to be like a national TV game.
Okay, what do you think of this big UFC deal with Paramount?
I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing.
And by the way, people thought they were going to split that up to get anything close to that number.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, Paramount in this new merger came out with a bang, and I think they did a great deal. And I think the fact that the UFC can use the broadcast distribution at CBS now is a big plus for this deal. And I thought it was amazing that on almost the same week that TKO announced their deal with Paramount, they were taking the UFC from ESPN to Paramount, but then the WWE went over to ESPN. And I think it's amazing, all this transacting, and it's exciting. And I think the deal, ultimately, it's going to be a more efficient, more friendly user experience for a UFC fan, this Paramount deal. And I think the idea that they'll get CBS and the broadcast distribution.
Am I supposed to, WWE at ESPN, is that not odd to anyone? Is it a sport?
It's entertainment. I saw a quote
ESPN is sports and entertainment.
Yes, but I saw a quote Mark Shapiro had in the press release that we're putting the E in ESPN, and it is entertainment, and there is a sport element to it. I mean, Joe, get on board, man. You got to get on board.
I can't. Since I was 8 years old and liked it. Ever since then,
So you were on board?
Yeah, until I was 9 and I realized it's all just choreography.
Oh, no, I've been on board.
You're watching wrestling?
I did back in the day. I don't watch it that much now.
Did Santa bring you
I love Randy Macho Man Savage. I did.
Guys, we're dating ourselves. The WWE.
I know.
You bid on Michael Jackson's glove. These are things that
the Iron Sheik.
Michael Jackson. Joe, what are we talking about?
He bid on Michael Jackson's glove.
A long time ago. I did. I don't know. Now we're going into a whole different version of culture.
What are we talking about?
Being young and gullible.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, that's
listen.
Okay.
I think we'll just.
I mean, UFC, I get. And especially if they got a fight right outside the White House.
Listen, ESPN airs documentaries. ESPN airs movies and the 30 for 30 series. Whether you see the WWE as entertainment or a sport or a combination of both, it's a great deal for the network.
Okay, what do you think of
sport?
Entertainment.
Okay, give me the lowdown. I mean, it's old now, but the NBA deal and Peacock and NBC, how you think that's all going to work itself out with the prospect that Peacock, which, by the way, is owned by the parent company of this network, at least currently. By the way, this network gets spun off, as you know.
Yes.
The betting line is that ultimately Peacock is going to get merged up with one of these other players. Maybe Paramount. Maybe it's with David Zaslav's Warner Brothers.
Wow, wouldn't that be interesting?
Right?
If the
After
NBA
having lost it,
somehow,
right?
Yeah.
So what is the, how do you think the NBA is ultimately going to think about where it lands? Because it may not land where it thought it landed just a year ago, long term.
Well, but they got the deal done.
No, they got the deal done. I'm just saying, I would bet by the time that deal is over, that Peacock will be part of something else.
Got it. I would say to you that, I would imagine that Adam and the league, in doing these deals, understood the future potential of what could happen down the road. He was able to get a great deal and diversify the distribution of the games. What I'm most excited about is the idea that I think NBC and Amazon can bring the NBA to life in a different way than ESPN has. Not to say that I haven't enjoyed ESPN's coverage of the NBA and TNT's coverage, but I think when you see the NBC hiring Carmelo Anthony and Tracy McGrady, this is a unique opportunity to start telling stories around the game and bringing the game to life in an interesting way. Now, that being said, if it ends up merging into Paramount and CBS, I would imagine Adam has gotten ahead of that already and understands that. But I don't necessarily see that as an issue. I think ultimately if the games are being distributed to fans in multiple places and moments are being created, that the fan will be fine. And I'm sure the economics and the deal is not something that Adam is not going to let be beneficial for the league.
You picking the Savannah Bananas for a wild card spot in the Major League Baseball?
I would imagine the Savannah Bananas are ultimately going to get a pretty big media deal themselves.
Okay. Is that and that's entertainment, though?
The E in ESPN, my friend.
God, you're like, you know, when
he
we
knows
have,
what he's doing.
You know, when we have real estate people on, prices are always going up and interest rates have always gone. They're always on. This is like you're always on message, are you not?
I'm not always on message. No.
Okay, so
I'm always on point.
Hold on. Have we talked to you, by the way, since the big trade?
Which big trade? Oh, KD's trade?
Yes.
Sorry, that was July, man.
I know.
That was June.
I don't think I've seen you since then.
Well, what do you have to say?
How did it happen?
It happened because we worked collaboratively with his old team, and Kevin got where he wanted to be. And I think that ultimately this was a win for us, and I hope the Suns feel good about moving on. But Houston's going to be a force this year. Listen, I don't want to put too much expectation. This is a new situation, but they've got an incredible coach, great ownership. They've got a great young team. Remember, last year they were the #2 seed in the West with a very young team. And they're adding one of the greatest players of all time who feels as good physically as he ever has. And I think we're all very excited. But at the same time, you got to go into the season. You've got to gel. Chemistry has to work. And but I think we've got great things ahead. And I think opening night in Oklahoma City, the NBA was really getting wild with that one. But we'll do it. We'll take it.
playing the Harlem Globetrotters, are they?
Now they're going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder.
This is the same theme that I'm keeping.
Entertainment.
Just forget it. Forget it, Rich. I see that.
Okay, folks, talking about entertainment, we should mention that Rich and KD.
Yes. And you.
And myself, we are all going to be in Los Angeles, as we hope that you will be, because we've got a big event going on, Boardroom's Game Plan event with CNBC. We do it together. September 16th, we got a huge lineup of athletes, owners, investors, innovators, and it's a wild time each year, and it'll be even wilder this one. Please join us. You can register right now if you want. You go to cnbcevents.com/gameplan.
Yes.
All right, it's 8 a.m., past 8 a.m. on the East Coast. You're watching Squawk Box on CNBC. I'm Joe Kernan, along with Andrew Ross Sorkin and Rich Kleiman. Among today's... You're still here, right?
Am I still here?
He's still here.
The seat was empty.
Just for the
He's out. Hang out with us.
And Steve Leisman. Among today's top stories, he just sitting down. The White House says it's planning and hoping to keep publishing monthly jobs reports. President Trump's nominee to lead the Bureau of Labor suggested a suspension in an interview earlier this month. Elsewhere, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent proposing the possibility of a 50 basis point rate cut at next month's Federal Reserve meeting. He highlighted downwardly revised jobs growth data for May and June that came in 2 days after the Fed had opted to keep rates steady. The last meeting we're going to be speaking to counsel to Secretary Bessent, Joe Lavorgna, in just a bit. And Apple is pushing back on Elon Musk's claim of favoritism towards OpenAI, saying in a statement to CNBC that the App Store is designed to be fair and free of bias. The company adds that its charts, recommendations, and curated lists are based on objective criteria with the goal of safe app discovery for users and visibility for developers.
I want to get over to Steve Leisman. who's at the table. He's got a bit of news on the list of possible Fed picks. What do you got for us?
Good morning, Andrew. CNBC has learned the Trump administration currently considering now 11 individuals, including 3 names that have previously not been disclosed, to replace Fed Chair Jay Powell when his term expires in May. According to 2 administration officials, the 3 new names include Jefferies chief market strategist David Zervos, former Fed Governor Larry Lindsey, and Rick Reeder, who is chief investment officer for fixed income at BlackRock. I thought we had a graphic on that. But anyway, they now join a list of 8 other candidates that CNBC has confirmed are under consideration, including Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Mickey Bowman, Fed Governor Chris Waller, and Fed Vice Chair Philip Jefferson. Add to that NEC Director Kevin Hassett and former Fed Governor Kevin Morse, mentioned by the president right here on Squawk Box. The officials described, quote, a deliberative process now taking place where Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will interview each of these candidates, winnow down a list, and then pass it along to the president for a final decision. The size of the list and the process described suggests a decision not imminent that could take a considerable amount of time, but the officials would not offer a timetable. The longer the process takes, though, the less likely there is to be a so-called shadow Fed chair in place approved by the Senate before Powell departs. Though sharply critical on an almost daily basis of Powell, President Trump has recently backed off suggestions he might replace the Fed chair before the end of his term. While many candidates on this list have advocated reform at the Fed, most have supported its independence, and they would appear to be a list of people with considerable either monetary policy, market, financial, or regulatory experience. Most of them also have advocated for rate cuts.
I mean, this could be a fabulous reality show at this point.
Pretty interesting.
I mean, we now have 11 people.
And you didn't mention Bullard either.
What's that?
You didn't mention Bullard.
Did I leave Bullard off the list?
Well, Bullard's on the list.
I don't think I named everybody, Joe. I just thought
Rick Reeder, Rick Reeder, by the way, friend of the show, we've had him on.
Yeah, you read Larry Lindsey's stuff? He's brilliant. He's
Larry Lindsey's very smart.
So what do you think is really happening here?
I mean, in the first, what's that?
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
The
Apprentice.
In the first instance, I think that the administration and especially Scott Bessent understand it's very important to come forward with a candidate that has the confidence of markets. You do not want to freak out the markets with this pick. This is there's no gain from that, and there's possible gain doing it the other way. So you look at this list and you say, okay, I mean, I can name somebody. I think the only question the market has is, does the president appoint somebody that is more loyal to the administration than to the institutional goals and aims of the Federal Reserve? Okay, so that's where the market might get freaked.
So here's my question. We've had this discussion many times about whether there's actually a shadow Fed chair already in place. We don't know their name, but the shadow Fed chair is there. We know that whoever that person is, at least we thought, was going to have to pass some kind of loyalty test where they were going to invariably lower interest rates if they were going to get that gig, right? That was the idea. The question is actually whether this throws some of that in doubt, because some of the folks on this list appear to be a little bit, I don't want to say more independent, but maybe willing to do their own thing if they were to get the gig.
Yeah. I think, Joe, work with me on this. This is interesting to me, and you too, Andrew, okay? The Federal Reserve Act allows the president to nominate this person, okay? So there is clearly some scope within the act for the president to nominate somebody on their side, right? It's not like there's an independent commission that comes up with the candidates and picks it. The president picks it. Right. So what do you want? You want somebody who will embrace your vision of your policy and the economy. Michelle Bowman, I think, was really interesting in her speech over the weekend. I didn't get a chance to report this, but if you go and read it, she says not only are tariffs not going to be inflationary, but she says nice things about other parts of the policy. Bernanke was inside the Bush White House as, I think it was CEA chair, before he became Fed chair. So there's got to be this sort of simpatico idea of your policies, Mr. President, are ones that I think will lead to lower inflation and higher growth, and a presumption of that. Part of the friction between Powell and Trump right now, Powell does not embrace that assumption. He doesn't say tax cuts will lead to better growth, which will lead to higher growth without inflation. He doesn't embrace the idea for sure right now that tariffs will be a one-time price increase. He said it 3 times at the press conference, but that's not his operating principle here.
Right.
You get a Fed chair, they're going to come in and say, I embrace this.
But you would want someone, you wouldn't want...
Me personally, or you generally?
You wouldn't want G. William Miller to be, just because he'd screw everything up and keep rates low. But you know who appointed Volcker in the first place?
It was Carter.
JC.
Yeah.
And then Reagan reappointed it.
Right.
So you could say that one of the greatest things. But Volcker was one of the great. But look what he did to Carter's economy.
But you are talking about something that I have been almost alone in advocating in this idea. How much help Powell is giving to Trump.
Right.
Right.
And he won't recognize it, but my contention is this, that Powell, by holding a hard line on the potential inflation from tariffs, is keeping inflation expectations under control and perhaps staunching this idea of tariff inflation moving over into broader inflation.
Even more so if there is a slowdown generated by any of Trump's, take your pick for the people that hate his policies, he's got a fall guy too.
Well, that's what the Fed is there for. This is not new. Nobody's smarter than Trump in understanding this, but the Fed is there to be blamed.
So it hasn't happened yet. I went to Polymarket. I'm going to Kalshi as well.
Oh, do you have a...
I'm trying to see if these new names have been added yet.
Who's in the lead right now?
Well, it seems to me, hold on, I want to make sure I'm getting the right thing going here, but it seems to me, and you tell me, that the Kevins, if you will...
It had been worse.
Had been at the height of all of this. Now, not so much. I'm trying to actually find it.
You don't know who the top person...
it's not coming up the way I'm searching for it, but... What is your sense? We heard about the Kevins last week. Kevin Hassett, Kevin Warsh.
If it was going to be one of them, you wouldn't need 8 more people.
Are they off the list now?
I want to pick up on what Joe just said. Joe's idea, and I'm reading into what you're saying, the idea was maybe they weren't satisfied with that.
Exactly.
List. And the president wanted a bigger list.
Yeah.
And said, give me more candidates. I have to think, although I cannot say this from the officials I talked to, that the process of the wider list is driven by the president. Right?
You would think.
Scott is not freelancing on this thing, I would not think. Just one more thing, guys, if you would. I think we may have a graphic on this. You know that the Treasury Secretary, I believe, was overnight on another show, talked about a 50. There is a modest, small bid of a 50 in the futures market this morning. It's not big. It's a 2.7% probability versus a 97% for a 25. But it's the first time we've really seen it show up in the Fed funds.
And just to answer your question, because I did not find it. So Waller.
There we go, right there.
By the way, I don't know if you believe whoever's betting on this. Waller now at 33%. Hassett at 22%. Warsh at 15%. Your guy, David Zervos, 9%. Bullard at 6%. Stephen Mirren at 6%. Shelton, they're not giving any credit to yet. They actually
Mirren's not on the list.
I know. They put Besson on. They put Besson on at 3%. They put Bowman on at 3%.
If they can put the wall back up before we go, guys, the person with the most experience in monetary policy is Waller. Waller, in terms of contemporary, followed by Bullard. If you want a guy who's an expert, right now, Waller is sort of maybe not quite that level with Stan Fisher or Richard Clarida. They were Fed vice chairs. Waller is that guy with the most monetary policy experience.
What's the blue?
The blue are the new guys.
The new guys.
Well, Logan's new.
Huh? No, the blue is Logan's not new.
Not
Reader,
in terms of being on the list. I hadn't heard Logan. No, I know, but I hadn't heard she was among the.
I just want to pitch, Mr. President, if you're watching the show, I think we would like to do a reality show in prime time right here on the network. We're just following the
you can say that,
apprentice-like thing. I would watch that show. I would watch that show.
You don't want to get a one.
The Economist geeks.
You don't want an 11.
Andrew, some of us think the process is too important to actually be a reality television show.
By the way, on that front, I agree with you. I agree with you. Okay. So coming up,
some still have reverence for certain things.
Coming up, Kava stock is down a lot, plummeting. Revenue missed the mark. Also, same-store sales weren't as good as people were hoping. Brett Schulman is the CEO. He's going to join us next. Then, Counselor to Treasury Secretary Besant Joe Lavorgna is going to join us to talk about all these things. Squawk Box will be right back.
Order submitted. together. Like your workplace benefits and retirement savings. Voya helps you choose the right amounts without over or under investing, so you can feel confident in your financial choices.
Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
A heart attack? Do they have life insurance?
No.
But we have life insurance. John.
I'm trying to find something we can afford.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, SelectQuote found John a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month. And his wife Anne a $500,000 policy for only $21 a month. Go to SelectQuote.com now and get the insurance your family needs
at a price you can afford. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Investing. You buy low, sell high, jump on that trend, ride the wave. Stop. That's not how investing works. You're not a child playing a game. This is grown-up business. The real thing. You know wealth isn't won in a bet. Luck is not a strategy, and success demands discipline. You're serious about investing, right?
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
September 16th, CNBC teams up with two-time NBA champion Kevin Durant and Boardroom for Game Plan, exploring the business of sports, music, and entertainment. Register now at cnbcevents.com/gameplan.
Style or substance? Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Get 0% APR plus no payments for 90 days on select Sierra 1500 models.
See your North Texas GMC dealers.
Sarah Benzino, Brandon Coley, Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
What'd she call Harper?
Oh, you mean Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
We actually sold the twins naming rights.
You know, like stadiums do. Kids are so expensive these days. Here he comes.
Oasis Breeze Tan and Spa.
If you need a tan, I'm your man.
Could do a business with you.
Or we can look at some investment options for you.
Works for us.
The right money moves aren't as absurd as
Beautiful shot, though, of a gray kind of cloudy Washington, D.C. this morning, but a nice shot of the Capitol. Cava shares down lower this morning after the fast casual chain reported second quarter revenue and same-store sales that missed estimates. The company also trimming its sales outlook for the year as it tries to top last year's very strong numbers when it added grilled steak to the menu. And joining us right now is Brett Schulman. He is the company's CEO. And a bit of a brave soul. I give you lots of credit to come on TV on a morning like this and not to overplay it or downplay it, but the stock is off nearly a quarter this morning, about 25%, 24, a little over 24% right now. So before we even get, how are you feeling?
I feel good.
This is not throwing you for a loop?
Listen, even before our IPO, I told the team, you know, stocks will go up, stocks will go down. But what really will define us is how we build this over the long term. We're not doing this for the next 10 weeks. We're doing this for the next 10 years and beyond. And so we're focused on that. And when you look at some of the metrics in the quarter, we beat our EBITDA, we beat our EPS, and our new restaurants in 2025 are trending at record level openings at $3 million plus run rates. So we're more confident than ever in the large scale white space opportunity defining the Mets.
And so what do you think is happening? I mean, I think the investor class is saying, we expected you to continue to beat. We thought the forecast was going to be up and to the right, and it is not that way.
Well, markets can be short-term focused and very focused on same restaurant sales, which we did come in under expectations. And so...
When did you start to see that happening?
So we did enter the quarter on our run rates as we expected. And then in June, we saw a pretty pronounced deceleration. But that also coincided with our year-over-year lap of our steak launch last year, which was our most significant protein launch in a number of years. And as we started to work through the quarter, we started to regain momentum and re-accelerated comps at the end of the quarter.
Okay, so what are you seeing, though? What do you think? What is the issue in your mind right now?
I think For us specifically, we are comping significant hurdles. If you think about on a 3-year basis, we grew traffic in the quarter 20%. Our AUVs have gone from 2.3 to 3 million during that period. So certainly high hurdles. And then I think there is macroeconomic uncertainty. I like to use the metaphor, it's like consumer trying to navigate through the fog. The fog has gotten denser at moments. It's gotten lighter when they pass the budget. I think that gave consumers certainty, whether you liked what was in the bill or not, at least gave you clarity. And then now we've got some shifting tariff policy that creates fog again. So we're just trying to focus on delivering a great value to our guests when they're feeling that fog or pressure.
So tell me what you're feeling on the labor front and what you're feeling on the product front, meaning the food and other wholesale stuff that's coming in that you need to actually buy to make the food for folks.
We haven't seen inflationary pressures to date. Got to give a shout out to our supply chain team. They've been incredibly agile, really mitigating any cost pressures to pass through to our guests. Remains to be seen what's going to happen at the end of the year, but no pressure on the labor front either.
Okay, but hold on. So on supplies, you're saying no, there's no pressure.
No, when you put the puts and takes together, and again, that's our job. That's our responsibility to try and work on behalf of our guests to mitigate any of those inflationary pressures we may be seeing by offsetting it with the other efficiencies in the business.
Okay, so tell me how you're doing that. Because by the way, that is the central issue for so many businesses that are bringing in goods from outside the country. So first of all, what goods are you bringing in?
Yeah, so our olive oil from Greece. We do get some hormone antibiotic-free beef from Australia, and then some basmati rice from overseas. So the rice crop was great this year, so that helped offset any tariff pressure on that front. And then when you think about how we've architected our supply chain over the years, we do source a lot domestically. We are a domestic manufacturer. We have our 2 production facilities where we're vertically integrated to make our dips and spreads, which also helps pass that cost effectiveness and efficiency to our guests.
When you think about the rice, when you think about the olive oil, is it possible over the next year or two that you think you could be sourcing that domestically?
With the specificity of the ingredients.
That's the problem, I imagine.
Yeah, there's some of it. I mean, there's certainly things we can shift domestically. There's others that we're going to source overseas, and then we're going to work to make sure that we don't have to pass those costs along to our guests.
What are you seeing? So, okay, and that's the other question. Are you eating the costs?
No, if you look, we beat on restaurant level margin. We had 26.3% restaurant level margin while absorbing any of those pressures around us.
Okay, what are you seeing in terms of the strength of the consumer to the extent that you think you're a barometer of what's going on? Are they trading down? Are they trading up? What's happening?
Yes, I think relative to our peers, we put up a positive comp when you've seen a lot of people put up negative comps. So clearly when people are choosing to eat out, they're choosing to eat out at Cava. So we're very excited about what we've seen and again, the long-term trajectory of the business and the structural strength we see underneath.
Okay, can I just ask you almost like a philosophical, psychological question?
Yeah.
So you introduced steak a year ago.
Yeah.
You know that that's working in a big way.
Yeah.
I imagine you say to yourself, this is working, but this is actually a problem for me. Insofar as you say to yourself, talk about the hurdle, like this is going to be a tough comp.
Yeah.
When did you say to yourself in the past 12 months, we're going to get to a point where maybe this is going to be tough? And and when you're thinking that to yourself, are you also looking at the stock and saying, you know, I wish it wasn't actually so high?
Yeah, that's the perverse nature sometimes of the public markets where, you know, you have to comp the comp, so to speak. And, you know, we could have done that. And we're going to launch chicken shawarma here in the first week of September, which is going to be another new protein launch. We could have accelerated that and launched it in June to match up with our steak launch of last year, but we didn't think that was the right thing to do for our operations team or for the business. And again, we've tried to position this business for the long term, very strong balance sheet, free cash flow positive, self-funding 18% plus unit growth, so that we don't get unduly influenced by short-term decisions that the market puts pressure on, and we can stay steadfast on that long-term strategy and build the next large-scale cultural cuisine category.
Okay. Thank you for coming in, and thank you again for coming in on what is a tough morning, but we do hope you come on back, and we'd love to follow your progress. So
thanks for having me.
You bet.
Very tough. You brought food last time when I wasn't here.
You weren't here. You brought food. He was trying to buy you off last time. This time he decided he didn't even need to buy anybody off because he's like the numbers aren't.
No, I know. That is a tough. Yeah. All right. Next time. Still to come. Counselor, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Joe Livornia on the economy, trade discussions, and more. And as we head to break, here's a look at the pre-market winners and losers on the NASDAQ. Coming right back.
I'm happy. I'm happy to have gold. have gold as a hedge against inflation. I know that this is the only thing that represents real money. I've had a portfolio of course, stocks, but no one ever talked about gold as part of your portfolio. To make a long story short, I end up buying gold for the first time. And boy, was I excited. What I like about owning physical gold is that I'm in control of my money. No one else has his hands on it, but I can put my hands right on it right now. If I need it right away, it's there.
If you would like to learn more about why physical gold should be an important part of your portfolio, simply call to receive the complete guide to buying gold, filled with new and exclusive information, including facts you should know about
Order
making
filled.
any gold, silver,
Order
platinum,
submitted.
or palladium purchase. Call now to also receive our new 2025 Global Gold Forecast Special Report. Inside, you'll find the real issues on why you need to start owning gold today. You can also receive a copy of our new report, Protection in the Risk Zone. U.S. Money Reserve can walk you through the 3 simple steps of transferring your existing 401k or IRA into a precious metals IRA backed by physical gold to further protect your assets from market instability. Pick up the phone and call U.S. Money Reserve, America's gold authority, right now to get your free gold kit and IRA information, including the 3 simple steps for transferring your existing 401k, 403b, and traditional IRA. With more than 2 decades in business, over $3 billion in transactions, and more than 1 million clients worldwide, U.S. Money Reserve is one of the most dependable gold distributors in America.
Take your business from launch to legendary with Shopify. Sell more with the world's best converting checkout and turn analytics into opportunities so you can scale further, faster. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
You put everything into getting it right, from launches to milestones and team recognition. With expert support, quality products, and on-time delivery, 4imprint makes sure your brand shows up strong. Visit 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent suggesting overnight that the Fed should be open to cutting rates by 50 basis points at its next meeting in September. For more on rates, inflation, the economy, the latest trade developments, let's bring in Joe Lavorgna, counselor to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. When did that happen?
What's that?
So you have an official capacity now. Can you speak freely?
Yes, of course. I always have, Joe.
Kind of, but I don't know if you can speak totally freely. Okay, for example, the 15% export tax on NVIDIA. You're a free market guy, conservative. Doesn't that sort of rub you the wrong way?
President Trump is trying to protect U.S. business and industry. We're in negotiations with China. We'll have to see how things play out, but I don't want to specifically comment on
Two specific companies.
One company.
2 specific companies pay 15% of their revenue to the federal government in a specific industry.
This is, Joe, a very complicated issue with trade.
But I understand
Joe,
that.
so you can't,
okay.
I mean, let's be fair. You have to, this is a very specific
How about
issue
the
on
other,
trade, and there's a lot of national security concerns at play. So,
well, apparently not if you pay 15%.
There's a lot there to unpack.
Can I just throw one other thing in? Apparently, your boss this morning, I don't know if you just saw this, because the headline's just crossing, where Scott Bessent said that the NVIDIA chip export tax could be a model for others, for other industries.
At least it'd be not a single one-off situation then.
So that would be the upside.
That's what I'm saying.
Of it.
Yeah.
The downside version of it was people would say, my God.
Industrial policy.
This is true industrial policy. If we're now saying this is not just a one-off,
I just want to as the Secretary said many times, and this is important, national security is economic security is national security. So I think we need to just step back and take a more holistic, integrated, detailed approach.
If the BLS numbers were rigged, and in fact, it wasn't a weak number, then why would Secretary Bessent be saying we need a 50 basis point cut? They're either rigged or they're not.
No, that's not true. So I think the thing is, the Secretary and the President want a more rigorous quantitative set of standards for the data. And there's no question that when you have a Six Sigma event in the last month with the revisions, there's concerns about data quality. In the private sector, you talk to many analysts, and they're always sort of circumspect on the payroll data, given the propensity for massive revisions.
I think it's terrible data and antiquated, but I'm just saying I don't think that the BLS commissioner rigged the data to make the president look bad.
Well, I understand that, but
do you think it was rigged?
Well, here's the thing, Joe. If you look at the pattern of revisions, you've had consistent downward revisions for the last couple to 3 years, except for a brief period last fall when you had upward revisions. Then you have a multi-sigma deviation in the last couple of months. People start to question the integrity of the data.
Yeah, but
so
the big 800,000 revision was before the election.
No, but it wasn't. And it got revised up over the following months. No, the data got revised up in October, November. Anyway, the point is we do need good data. The trend in payroll growth has slowed, and this is what is important. This is what the Secretary was alluding to, is that interest rates, by the Fed's own standards, are well above neutral. They're well above even the highest dot on the histogram in terms of rates. And if you look at what's
Jeremy Siegel wants to use Fed funds versus where the 10-year is.
Sensitive sectors of the economy are the weakest, and certainly would.
No, I was bolstering your point. He wants to use where Fed funds are versus where the 10-year or the 30-year is.
Order submitted.
Well, not just that. The market has been saying for 3 years that monetary policy is too tight because the 10-year has been trading below the Fed funds the upper end of the target. So I can understand the president's frustration.
I'm going to go a different direction on you. I want to go back to BLS for just half a second, which is the new, or at least nominated BLS director, says that he is cool with the quarterly figures. He's just not cool with the monthly figures. Now, by the way, that actually makes sense to me, which is to say that, you know, the quarterly numbers hopefully are right because they've had time to catch up. The monthly figures seem to clearly be inaccurate. I don't know if they're politically motivated inaccurate, but that's the point.
Order submitted.
If the quarterly numbers are cool, and we can, I think, agree that we could maybe modernize the system so we're not getting this sort of crazy lags. But it suggests that the numbers ultimately are not being politically manipulated. Do you agree?
The key point, Andrew, is that people want to have confidence in the numbers. And just the pattern
Order
of revisions
filled.
and the magnitude of revisions makes people,
Order filled.
just from a statistical standpoint, wonder about the integrity of the data, whether it's a major mismeasurement issue.
Order
and certainly
filled.
the BLS, I think, historically has been slow in sort of adapting new technologies and techniques to try to better measure the economy. That's something EJ, I think, would be very good at trying to have a more structured
EJ
approach.
Question. You know, there's a question about the credibility of the numbers because of these delays, which I think is a technology problem, maybe incentive problem, and other things about how it's collected. What you don't want is the numbers to be politicized, polarized, and whatnot.
Order
EJ's
submitted.
history is such that he's obviously part of the Heritage Group, Project 2025. So for some people in the country, they're going to look at that and think about it in a sort of political prism, which is something you don't want. But there's another issue, which is the issue of expertise. And maybe we decided that expertise is out the window. But his history is not as somebody who has done polling and research and things of that sort.
No, but EJ, with a PhD in economics, understands statistics. And the data ultimately, if the data don't get revised as much and they're more accurate and match GDP, that's all the commissioner, that's all EJ would want. So what his background is no bearing on the competency of how good a job
and he's not going to be
numbers will. The numbers will bear that
They
out.
say the commissioner doesn't do anything anyway, he just oversees
But that may be the problem, Joe, and that you need somebody to make a real effort and try to get better, better quality data.
There's a lot of pressure for lower rates, obviously, and now we are hearing that the list of potential replacements for Jay Powell is expanding. So
11 people. Leisman just broke some news of the 3 new names.
Exactly. The worry is that the president is a real estate guy and wants lower rates so much that he's going to put someone in that maybe is too dovish. And I made the point that Jimmy Carter, do you think Jimmy Carter liked G. William Miller, or did he like Volcker. Volcker turned into the hero demigod of all time because he basically went to 21.5% interest rates and crushed the economy. G. William Wheeler would have given President Trump everything he wants.
I don't know about that, Joe. But
well, he's the clown prince.
But back then, you had interest rates were 10-year notes.
Because the president,
15,
well, the president
20%.
lets someone do what needs to be done for inflation.
But we've just established that the market
in
rates
the future
are below.
Okay, in the future.
But the market's forward-looking, and long-term
Order
rates
filled.
Order
filled.
Funds rate.
Right.
And again, by the Fed's own admission, monetary policy is extremely
in
tight.
the J.D. Vance administration, starting in 29.
Order
but
submitted.
This is hypothetical several years from now. And what
I was
the
throwing you a
gonna
bone
think.
there, my friend.
No, but my point is that
Order
the Fed's
submitted.
models have been broken. The Fed's inflation forecasts have been off. That's just
But
fact.
you think the president would be okay if someone said, look, I'm worried about inflation for whatever reason, we need to tighten rates? You think he'd be okay with that? He wouldn't fire him on
Yes, absolutely. No, the
Order
president has
submitted.
said that rates should come down.
Right.
And if there's a mistake, then the Fed could reverse.
Order
and
submitted.
if you look at interest-sensitive parts of the economy, housing, autos, areas of manufacturing, they've been soft. And certainly lower rates would help. And by the way, the president, who was mocked at the time back in 2018 about lower rates, turned out to be exactly correct.
Probably right this time, too.
And the economy grew 3.4%, almost 3.5% in 19, and inflation was low and falling.
But all the pressure maybe caused the Fed to be unable to cut rates. Could have been.
Well, if the Fed, Joe, if the Fed is data dependent,
how could Powell cut at the last meeting with all the pressure from the president?
Because I can tell you why. If you look at the Fed's forecast and headline inflation in March, they forecasted 2.7. It came out at 2.5. In June, they went from 2.7 to 3.0. Headline inflation went from 2.5 to 2.4. Their forecast error actually got wider. And by the way, Governors Waller and Bowman dissented for rate cuts that July.
First time in 50 years or so.
30 years.
I got a complicated.
50,
I got a hard one for you. Do you think that Jan Hatzius should be fired from his role at Goldman Sachs? Because that's effectively what the President of the United States, who is your boss, suggested yesterday on Truth Social.
I think he should, because he never comes on this show. He doesn't come on this show.
Executives should be due. That's their own prerogative, so I'll leave it there.
Well, how do you actually? But here's a separate question, because I think business executives watch our broadcast and they think to themselves,
submitted.
and I think this is probably true of David Solomon. Actually, he says to himself, "I like some of the president's policies. I don't like some of the other policies. But what I really don't like is the president coming after me personally, telling me I should go be a DJ permanently, or that I should fire my economist." And I think that one of the things that's sort of in that thought process is, if you say you're going to support American business, especially with foreign countries and other companies that are competing against us, don't go after our own people. What do you think of that?
The president is incredibly non-conventional and highly effective. And
Order
people know when
submitted.
he's sort of, trolling and being
this is
funny and quirky, and I think that's about it.
This is crying about the mean tweets 2.0. You're still
all I'm saying is, if you are an executive and your name is mentioned in one of these things, you don't think that he's just rousing you.
I wouldn't like
You think it is not a good situation.
But
that's what it is.
Mean tweet. We're back to mean tweets.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing, Andrew, I would say is...
By the way, he's giving us a lot to talk about on this broadcast, so Mr. President, thank you.
I don't want to mean Truth Social.
That's my point.
You might get one.
I might get one.
No,
I might have gotten
one. The president has been so accurate and so visionary on so many things in terms of getting foreign capital to come back, how the tariffs have played out. I mean, he's really been correct time and time again, and you're seeing it. The economy rebounded in the second quarter. Growth in the third quarter looks good. Growth will be even better if rates are aligned with the fundamentals. Inflation's falling. I mean, all these good things that the president has put in place, people need to be mindful of. You're seeing very tight credit spreads. There's low recession risk. So there's a lot of good stuff.
I have to tell you, he's a very good spokesman for this president.
Oh, it's very kind of you.
I think what I said right at the top, he definitely is a different Joe Livornia now, and that's okay.
It's hard to improve on perfection or whatever. Let me make a comment I missed.
But once you do join the administration, I mean, I would not.
Joe, but these are the things that,
you wouldn't join it if you didn't believe in most of it.
All of it.
Right.
All of it. I mean, look, the president is extraordinarily results-oriented.
I know.
You're seeing very solid results, whether you like them or not.
I argue all the time that don't take him literally, take him serious. I'd say that, and I also acknowledge that there's times I'm like, I can't defend everything, but I can, you can't throw out the good for waiting for the perfect. But when you're in the administration, you better say everything's perfect, or you're not going to be in
I don't think, I think we take a very honest approach to things.
Right. What do you think? You don't like those mean tweets?
No, I think you can, look, I think there's lots of policies that have actually worked out a lot better than a lot of people thought, including myself, by the way.
I know.
And I think the good part is
we could go back to his first term to talk about mean tweets.
Yes.
We can't.
Joe, we want to thank you for coming in this morning. We always enjoy talking to you about it.
You've got to get used to them. You got to be like a cat that, every time, sooner or later, they don't react.
We have fun talking about all this stuff.
We do.
And when we come back, we're going to continue talking about all this stuff.
I'm going to give you a name.
Too late now. I'm getting a name. A check on the markets. Squawk Box returns after this.
Decking and railing that's ready for anything you throw at it. Even John's 40.
Order filled.
Order filled. Trex. Performance engineered for your life outdoors.
Almond Breeze has 50% more calcium than dairy milk, with 0 grams of sugar and fewer calories.
I wish every choice was this
Order
obvious.
filled. Order filled.
Order filled.
More
Order
calcium,
canceled.
less sugar, fewer calories. Almond Breeze, the obvious choice.
Order submitted.
The Citi Double Cash Card. Feel the joy of earning unlimited 2% cash back. 1% when you buy, 1% as you pay. The Citi Double Cash Card.
Welcome to the show, the one with unimaginable power and endless entertainment. You can't help but be awed by it all. Sunday Night Baseball. Every Sunday, all season on ESPN.
Order submitted.
Let's check the futures right now. You can see sharply higher after the S&P
Order
and the
submitted.
Nasdaq both hit record highs yesterday. Mike Santoli, still happening. Mike joins us with a look at the markets. More new highs indicated today, perhaps.
Yep. They are, Joe. I would say it's moderate follow through to the upside in terms of percentage from yesterday's pretty emphatic and broad rally in response to that CPI report. Clearly, people were tensed up for something potentially a little bit hotter. The market read it as basically removing the last impediment from here to Labor Day
submitted.
for any kind of melt-up type activity. We're not going to have any known catalysts. Although the PPI tomorrow could complicate the picture. You see, we've kind of gone sideways, as I was mentioning yesterday, for a couple of weeks now. You've lifted a little bit above that. It's generally positive when the market's making new highs, maybe getting slightly stressed. I would point out we did that also, back a few months ago, where you can make a marginal new high and then have a little bit of a give back. That was in February. Take a look here at the Russell 2000, because small caps basically led yesterday, up almost 3%. This is part of the rate cut playbook. You buy small caps, low quality consumer cyclicals, things like that. Banks, they all rallied yesterday. But look at this level. I mean, we haven't really been able to do much above 2,300. By the way, there was also a big spike last July in response to a cool CPI number. So kind of guilty till proven innocent. NASDAQ 100 relative to the equal weighted version of the NASDAQ 100. there you see it, the biggest of the big doing all the work, going in different directions over the last couple of weeks. So still a top-heavy market out there, guys.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike. It's coming up. What's coming up, Andrew?
We're going to discuss who the president may nominate for the chairman position of the Federal Reserve with former Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester. And we got some new names. Steve Leisman breaking that news on our air just minutes ago. We're going to play it back to her and get her views on who should be in that role when we come right back.
Hi, my name is Damian Clark. And if you have both Medicare and Medicaid, I have some really encouraging news that you'll definitely want to hear. Depending on the plans available in your area, you may be eligible to get extra benefits with the Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. Most plans include the Humana Healthy Options Allowance. Get $1,200 a year. That's $100 each month to help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items like vitamins, pain relievers, first aid supplies, and more. The Healthy Options Allowance is loaded onto a prepaid card each month, and whatever you don't spend carries over from each month. You can pay nothing for covered prescriptions all year long, even name brand drugs. All plans have $0 copays for covered preventive dental services, which include 2 free cleanings a year, as well as fillings. They may also have vision coverage, including vision exams, and a yearly allowance towards eyewear, such as lenses or contacts. Even hearing coverage, which includes routine hearing exams and coverage towards hearing aids. You'll even have a $0 copay for routine vaccines and telehealth visits. Plus, your doctor, hospital, and pharmacy may already be part of our large Humana networks. So call the number on your screen now to speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. Wouldn't you love benefits like $1,200 a year to help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items? So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, call the number on your screen now and speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. If you're eligible, they can even help enroll you over the phone in a Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan.
Order filled.
Order filled. So call now. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life,
We got you.
Order filled.
get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. ServPro, like it never even happened.
Order submitted.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. This morning, some news breaking. CNBC is learning that the Trump administration now currently considering 11 individuals for the role as Fed chair. Those include 3 new names. And joining us right now to talk about those 3 new names and more, Larry Lindsay, by the way, Rick Reeder, David Zevros, is former Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester. She's an adjunct professor at finance at UPenn's Wharton School, a CNBC contributor. I want to also talk to you, of course, about inflation, the jobs market, BLS data, and so much more. But curious about just what your take is on this almost reality show that's now emerging. It went from just the Kevins, the 2 of them, to basically 11 different people. What do you make of how this is, this sort of drama is playing itself out?
Well, I think it's a good idea to vet this very carefully. So the fact that there's a longer list is probably not a bad thing. I mean, who knows why different people get on the list? Could be that they're getting suggestions from a lot of people and they think it's worthwhile to start looking at some of those names. So I think there's nothing wrong with looking at a group of names, and I think it's probably wise to do that.
Is there anybody on that list that you think is the one that you'd pick?
Well, it's not my decision. Look, I've worked closely with a number of them, and others I haven't. I think the key attributes are, I mean, it's a difficult job. You have to have someone who has a point of view, but also listens to their colleagues. I know when I was at the FOMC, you come in with a viewpoint, and then if you listen, you might have changed your viewpoint, maybe not at that meeting, but as you assess things, as you get a new idea. So you need someone who's open to listening and thinking about things that are differently than perhaps the idea that you came into the room with. And I think a lot of those people on the list will do that, and I think that's a very good thing.
Right.
But you also have to be a very good communicator. And so that's the other attribute that I think is very important for a chairman of the Federal Reserve or chairperson of the Federal Reserve. You need to have someone who's going to listen, who's going to collect information, who's going to listen to market data, who's going to understand modeling as being an important attribute that you need to really understand, but you also have to be open to listening to the things that maybe not fit your model.
What do you make of the idea of just independence and that these folks are supposed to be completely apolitical? The truth is that none of these people have been completely apolitical. They're, of course, nominated by a president. Someone even, I'll do the other side of the aisle. Janet Yellen went from being the Fed chair to the Treasury secretary. So how do you think the public should think about this issue of independence?
So independence is a key principle upon which we end up with better outcomes for the public. I can't emphasize that more. This is not just something that is a nice to have. This is really essential that when you go into that room, whether you're a governor, whether you're a Fed president as a policymaker, whether you're the chair, you cannot be looking at short-run political considerations. You have to be focusing on the longer run and the dual mandate goals that Congress has given you. And that's going to be very important, no matter what your background is. Everyone brings their background to the job, but you have to leave all that behind and really focus in on what's going to be the best policy that will achieve maximum employment and price stability. And there's studies, there's experience that shows that if you do that, you end up with more stable inflation, lower inflation, and you don't give up anything in terms of having more volatile output. So this is an empirical fact that you end up with better outcomes for the public.
Okay, so here's a different one for you. If the Bureau of Labor Statistics suspends the monthly distribution of data on jobs every month, how big a problem is that for the Fed or not? How big a problem is that for business leaders and the rest of the country and the world?
Well, it would not be the choice I'd make. I mean, yes, it is true that some of the volatility in those data suggests that there can be improvements in the data collection and the surveying, et cetera. But I would do that. I would take that tact. It's like, don't throw data away. Let's improve some of the techniques that are brought to the data. And, you know, whether that can be done, you know, immediately or not, I doubt it. But I think that's something that I would basically be working on is how do you improve the data quality? And then people using the data have to be really cognizant of the fact that these data do get routinely revised. And maybe you take that into account when you're setting policy. Whenever you're setting policy, there's uncertainty in the data, there's uncertainty in your models, there's uncertainty about where the economy is going. But that's part of what policymaking is to be able to incorporate that into your thoughts about what's appropriate for monetary policy.
Loretta, we got to run, and I got literally 20 seconds, so it's really almost a yes-no. Come this fall, would you raise, or rather, would you lower interest rates?
More data to come. We don't know yet. The recent inflation report was consistent with inflation, you know, not really showing through a lot of the tariff effects, some of the tariff effects. But I think the more troubling aspect of that report was the underlying core services excluding housing. The narrative has been that that should be falling, and that went up.
Loretta, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate it very, very much.
Take care.
You bet. Squawk Box coming right back after this short break.
He sure knows these parts well.
Folks say the planes whisper to him.
Outlaws in 500 feet. Rerouting.
Making a left!
Innovation changes everything.
Man, he's good.
With one investment, you can access the NASDAQ 100 innovators who are rethinking the world. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
When I started Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses, I needed a website. And GoDaddy Aero uses AI to make a beautiful website so fast it'll blow my customers' noggins while they're shopping for Goggins for their noggins.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster to first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Rather than get rich quick, I believe in get rich slow. The high yield cash account at Public actually had higher rates than anything else I was able to find online. I don't want to be losing sleep over having made risky investments. I needed something stable that could really give me long-term financial benefits. I know my money's working hard for me, and I know I can access it anytime I need it.
Don't miss a members-only event.
You want to trade? We may not be for you. You want to invest? Come to the right place.
Join the CNBC Investing Club to access Jim's
Order
monthly
submitted.
meeting. Go to cnbc.com/monthly.
Unique flavors. There's an H-E-B Creamy Creations flavor for every craving in Texas. Just one more reason. Here, everything's better.
Order filled.
Order filled.
Order submitted.
The $7,500 federal tax credit for eligible electric vehicles is ending. Must take delivery by September 30th, 2025. Visit your local Cadillac dealer today.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. The futures right now, well, they look like they're going to be up this morning. In about a half an hour from now, the Dow would open up about 160 points higher. The NASDAQ up about 85 points higher. The S&P 500 up about 20 points higher. And then we got crypto. Also on the move, my friend.
But that's the momentum trade we've been talking about with the averages. And I don't like when people say it's a bus coming, because you know what you think, that the bus is coming.
I know.
Can you either get on the bus or get run over by the bus.
That's true.
There's crypto over 120 again on Bitcoin, but we've also been talking about the recent move every day in Ether outperforming Bitcoin and being big focus. Standard Charter is now raising its 2025 forecast on Ether to $7,500 and says it could hit $25,000 by the end of
As you would say, now they tell us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have had Ether at under, well. Do you ever go to Chili's? Chili's is pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah. We're going to talk about Chili's because their shares, Brinker International, which owns Chili's, by the way, beating on the top and bottom line, driven by a 16% increase in traffic at Chili's. Basically, the Kernan family responsible
we haven't
for
been.
that? No,
we haven't been, but we're not opposed to it.
Shares trading right now. You're looking at it at $165 up about 6.5%, which is a lot better than where the folks at Kava were at this morning, down about 25%. Meantime, Sale Point up big this morning. JP Morgan giving them an upgrade. The firm taking the stock from neutral to overweight with a $26 price target. That's another 20% upside from where we are right now. JP Morgan calling Sale Point best of breed in the enterprise security sector. For those who don't know it, the stock is still 25% up from the February high. I never like when people say something's overweight.
But
they're overweight this or that. Get on Ozempic.
Especially a food stock. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Squawk on the Street is next.
Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to Squawk on the Street. I'm Carl Quintanilla with Jim Cramer, David Faber at Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Bulls remain on the hunt for some fresh all-time highs as Besant floats a potential half-point rate cut. Small caps come off one of their best days of the year, 10 years backing off to about 4.25. VIX with a year-to-date low. Our roadmap begins with the White House's push for lower rates. Treasury Secretary suggests the Fed should consider a half-point in September.
Also ahead, CoreWeave's hot post-IPO rallies taking a bit of a detour in the pre-market, despite guidance and quarterly revenue that exceeded analysts' estimates. And speaking of IPOs, Bullish is set to go public right here at the big board, the crypto exchange, pricing its offering above the expected range. Its CEO, Tom Farley, no stranger to this building, by the way. He's the former president of the NYSE, is going to join us right here at Post 9.
Let's begin with stocks looking to extend their record run. Jim, yesterday the action definitely suggests, when you look at the small caps, that the race for a rate cut is picking up some steam.
Yesterday was really an amazing day because people were split about how hot or cool the CPI was. But then suddenly this wave of people just determined that it was not only cool, but perhaps we even could get a 50 basis point, which I think is a little maybe fantasy. But I saw stocks ignite when I saw the financials go crazy. David?
Yes?
I know it's a little controversial, but what financial just exploded yesterday?
Rocket Mortgage.
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. Jesus.
Yeah, all-time high yesterday.
Come on, guys. Rocket Mortgage was up too.
What?
Wasn't it? It was up a lot.
But I'm talking about a more major financial. I'm just only pointing out because it's the same day that
you mean the fact that the president asked for the resignation of his chief economist and tells its CEO to go back to being a DJ, which, by the way, he hasn't been doing, at least not publicly, in a long time.
I just wondered what the president think of Costin, because Costin's very good work.
Oh, he'll be next. You never know.
No, Costin's good. I think actually Hatzius is pretty good. There's some guys who are much worse. I have a list of them.
Well, at some point, you may be subject of a social media post from the president saying that you should be fired.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen, but here's what you need to know. Why.
Tell me.
The reason I brought it up as opposed to your Rocket Mortgage is Goldman encapsulates everything. IPOs, right? M&A.
Yes.
Trading volume.
Yes.
This is the barometer for this stock market, and it took off in a way that I haven't seen in ages.
It is interesting. We have talked a lot about M&A. We had the head of the investment bank, co-head of the investment bank from Morgan Stanley, a Goldman competitor, join us.
Was? How did you get that book? He's from Philadelphia, that guy. He's dynamite.
You liked him, yeah. You liked him.
Didn't you think he was good?
Really good.
No, it was good. It was good. It was good to get perspective, and I think there is a lot of optimism about both the IPO calendar, which we'll get to today. We're going to keep an eye on Bullish, and the M&A
why not?
environment as well.
Pick is calm.
But it's beyond that, and I brought up something Morgan Stanley had advised on, because you talk about those things, but these financings for data centers, back to CoreWeave, for example,
am I all over that?
The enormity of the debt offerings that are associated, or the debt raising and equity raising, and the advice around them, that's something else that the investment banks are taking full advantage of, and it will be very beneficial for them.
You hit on the key point. InTrader is an Easterner. He's a Jersey boy, okay? Get this. Out West, they do equity. In the East, they do debt. Now, you've been skeptical because of the whole debt thing, but I've got to tell you, that's the way of the future. See, Blue Owl's doing a big one with them. People borrow now to build data center. And the West Coast ones, by the way, Rusty Brazil with an amazing analysis of all the West Coast ones, they're all cash. No more.
But there's the combination. I mean, the one that Meta did, and again, this was reported on, it hasn't been confirmed by Meta, is $29 billion. 26 of that is potentially from PIMCO in the form of debt.
Right.
And the rest is from, I think it was Blue Owl,
yes,
in the
Blue
form
Owl.
of equity. So that is equity. All right, but the numbers are enormous, and yes, and it goes back to a certain extent to the idea that everybody benefits in the financial world, so to speak. Right. Those who raise the capital, advise on how to do it, and everything else, and that helps Goldman.
Does that make you somewhat happy?
No. The Mets winning made me happy.
Well, that's really kind of out of the...
Yeah.
Why? Because you brought that because the Phils got shut down by the Reds?
No, I'm just pointing out things that make me happy. Seeing my children makes me happy.
You're so short-sighted.
Yeah.
Okay,
I really don't care if Goldman Sachs is up or
I do.
down.
And one of the things I thought was ironic, Carl, just when the president was attacking Solomon's business model has come together. I find that ironic because, M&A is just a few people. Now, Pick at Morgan Stanley is the guy who's crushing. They've had all these things.
But they're wealth management more so than the other things. And by the way, Goldman Sachs is also relying on a lot of other things. You could have a quarter that has nothing to do with M&A and IPOs, and it still could be a very good quarter for them because of trading, because of fixed income.
I was speaking metaphorically, for heaven's sake. You think Kava's probably more, he probably thinks Kava is the focus.
Kava is worth noting. We're going to get to it after Sweet Green and Chipotle and Wing in recent days.
But don't forget how great Chili's is. I'll talk about that later.
The Chili's comps are truly exceptional. We'll get to all that.
Kind of an outlier, though, given everything else.
I'll go into why that is.
You will?
Yeah, because I have one tonight. I have one tonight.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm friends with Kevin Hochman. Not friends. It's about business. But I do think, Carl, that when we look at what's happened with CoreWeave, what we have to focus on is the lockup. The expiration of the lockup, because I don't want people to get in it. That's the 15th.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I don't want anyone to see it. It's after the close tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be in.
There's Brinker.
Yeah.
We're talking CoreWeave. CoreWeave, as Jim says.
If people want to be in it, you have to wait till things settle down.
It is down in the pre-market. They've still more than tripled their March IPO price. Company did post a quarterly loss last night. Revenue and guidance did exceed analyst forecasts. Michael Intrader was talking about the call last night and about what CoreWeave clients are acquiring. Take a listen.
This is a structurally supply-constrained market. It is a market that is really working hard to try and balance. And there are fundamental components at the powered shell, at the power in terms of the electrons moving through the grid, at the supply chains that exist within the GPUs, the supply chains that exist within the mid-voltage transformers. There's a lot of different pieces that are constrained, but ultimately the piece that is the most significant challenge right now is accessing powered shells that are capable of delivering the scale of infrastructure that our clients are requiring.
Meantime, Street's not unnerved. JP Morgan reiterates overweight.
And it was just filled with, the call is filled with congratulations, and people are very excited about the fact that everybody has to build one of these. David, just for you,
yes,
I was going over with Michael Intrader the size of what people have to build.
Yes.
He's talking about 6 San Franciscos. What?
It's just, you can't really, What?
6 San Franciscos. Well, you felt...
And you got to power that, too, by the way.
The problem is Mark Zuckerberg was talking about various parts of the map, but didn't talk about the actual building. 6 San Franciscos. That's how much is going up.
The ambitions are endless in terms of the building. We'll see what actually does take place.
You need
I think a Stargate, for example, in Abilene, Texas, and where that really is in terms of what the hopes are and how big that has to get over time, it'll be enormous. Again, your Meta and what they're building, we've talked so often about.
They own Louisiana, man.
Yeah.
The LSU and them.
And then, and then on and on and on, and CoreWeave, of course, as well.
Well, but Dave, CoreWeave, you got to understand, if we go to reasoning, the next generation of NVIDIA, Vera Rubin, from Philadelphia, by the way, what you will find is that's reasoning. And that's why we need all this. In order to reason, you need much
even more
power.
Right, and inference, right. All good for, potentially good for NVIDIA as well. Jim, specific to CoreWeave, obviously and I've been mentioning the lockup for quite some time now, as you know.
Think, 300 million shares?
I don't know what the number will be, but we'll see what the impact is of that, given the float is not particularly large. But as for the quarter, growth and backlog wasn't as strong as some may have hoped for, and guidance was mixed. That at least is part of the note from Moffett-Nathanson this morning.
I think his... No, I don't want to criticize any particular analyst, but I do think that what they did, they're constrained by power. You need more power. They could do much bigger backlog, but they don't have the power.
Well, water's the other issue. Have you seen some of these stats about projected water use for data center in the state of Texas alone would be 7% of projected use?
That's why you have to go up where Microsoft's doing it in Washington, where there's ample water. State of Washington, ample water.
You're talking hundreds of billions of gallons of water over the coming years.
These things they haven't figured out how to do it. Some people feel that's why quantum has to be involved, because quantum doesn't burn burns
quantum is a long way away.
How far?
I don't know, Jim.
I
don't really understand quantum, and
well, they just announced this new user conference in Japan in September, right? You had them on last night.
Yes, and I am, D-Wave?
Oh.
We are on Mad Money putting every single one on. Why? Because that's what the public wants, and we have got to stop.
We got Rigetti coming up in the 10 o'clock today.
Yes, and Rigetti's real.
Yeah, no, I know, but these are not at scale, right? The idea is to do it at scale.
Not at scale.
And that's what we're talking about. How many years away are we from scale quantum, which would be a game changer, apparently?
Well, you know, the question then is, you really want to go after it. It's Google and it's IBM.
IBM, right.
And I think
to some extent, Microsoft also got something going on.
I think
right?
IBM may be very real, and that stock is just taking a beating. So that's what I'm focused on.
But power usage, the environmental impact, potentially water, is all something that, you know, this is
this administration,
the enormity of what is needed to power these data centers.
Do you think the administration is focused on?
Well, I think they are focused on it, certainly from a permitting aspect in terms of allowing for a lot greater or easier permitting. But I do think the lack of potential support for wind and solar, when they're there as potential energy sources, could be detrimental to the effort.
But that's why you go to Louisiana and make it all nuclear power, the Entergy. Do you know it was nuclear power that was the problem for the 2012 Super Bowl, the one that Beyonce sang at?
I did.
That was 19-minute delay. It was a problem with nuke.
Really?
Yeah, problem nuke. That went down. That would destroy Meta.
But all that said, it's still going to be a while till we have a substantial increase in power produced from nuclear power plants in this country,
what we have is TVA, but we do know that GE Vernova has pulled forward when it feels that nuclear is going to be ready, 2030. But nuclear is the answer. Wind is great, except for sometimes it's not windy. And solar's great, but geez, the sun, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes because at the sun, I don't know, I'm new in this town.
All true. And that's what those who, yes, the sun doesn't always shine, the wind doesn't always blow, and you need backup or batteries, which obviously is a growing industry as well.
I thought you had like a Bob Dylan song going there, and then you pivoted.
I did. I'm no Dylan.
No, you're not.
Dylan's no Dylan.
No, we did the Monkeys and Neil Diamond yesterday.
Yes.
Well, people like that. I got a lot of good comments.
Order filled. Order submitted.
It was incredible. I don't know. There's nothing quite like that period of time.
That period was amazing.
What he was writing,
My back pages, can I just say?
Can't even, it's like...
Order
He's at
submitted.
the music, but it's not Dylan, because
Order
that would fine us
submitted.
$1,300.
We should just take the fines and start playing the music.
I'll write the check.
Maybe when we're Versant, we don't, we're not subject to the same deal
I'm
anymore.
thinking Versant, we have a contest for drawing of what the signet,
Order
symbol.
canceled.
For that, by the way.
We don't have one yet?
No,
Order
but I'm
filled.
going to be part of the. I'm going to be a contestant.
Graphic designer.
My daughter and I.
Order filled.
My Parsons' daughter.
You're going to use
Order
Figma for this,
filled.
or?
Order
No,
filled.
filled.
Figma's too expensive now.
When we come back this morning, the latest on this intensifying battle between Elon Musk and Sam Altman. By the way, Tesla 5 days up, best streak since May. We'll get to Brinker, Kava, Bullish, Circle, Lilly when we return.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you.
Order submitted.
We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
I'm in possession of evidence of an unlawful cover-up.
I help people who see things they shouldn't have.
Why'd you do this for me?
That's my job.
Relay Radar.
At PGIM, our ETFs use today's best ideas to help bring tomorrow's goals within reach. Our broad suite of over 50 low-cost ETFs is backed by 150 years of active management expertise. Explore PGIM ETFs today.
September 16th in LA, CNBC teams up with two-time NBA champion Kevin Durant and Boardroom for Game Plan, a high-powered event featuring NHL Commissioner
Order
Gary
filled.
Bettman, Monumental Sports and Entertainment's Ted Leonsis, global superstar Travis Scott, and more, breaking down investing opportunities in the business of sports and entertainment. Register now at cnbcevents.com/gameplan.
When life calls for more, Mazda answers. With more adventure, more grip, and confidence. The Mazda CX-50, assembled in America, and the Mazda CX-5. Discover more at the Mazda Summer Sales Event. Current inventory remains unaffected by new tariffs.
Take advantage of one of these exceptional offers during the More to Move You sales event.
Bill Burr, Jim Gaffigan, Alana Glazer, Roy Wood Jr., and Krista Stefano are not funny.
What?
They're hilarious.
You know it's not a good joke when you have to explain it.
Brand new stand-up specials, now streaming.
Some new developments in the battle between Elon Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. A federal judge has denied Musk's bid to dismiss OpenAI's claims the billionaire is engaged in a years-long harassment campaign against the maker of ChatGPT. Meantime, the FT says Altman and his company are preparing to back Merge Labs, a startup that will compete with Musk's Neuralink by connecting human brains with computers. You need a map, Jim, at this point to sort of understand the dynamics of this feud.
Well, there's just, I'm going to say it that you've got two people who are so opinionated and bullheaded. I really think, David, you know them both, that these are people who just fight. They're fighters, not lovers.
Yeah, I mean, they're different. They're very different, at least in the way that they approach things. But that said, they are in a significant competition that has continued. Remember, there was a time when they were united to a certain extent. Musk was the original money behind OpenAI. The idea that you would harness the power of AI but do it safely, that seems to have sort of been cast aside. Altman might argue with that. Musk is still suing, by the way. You've got a complicated restructuring you're trying to undertake at OpenAI. You can't dismiss the litigation that he's brought against the company in terms of what that might ultimately mean. And Altman outmaneuvered Musk to some extent. Remember the Stargate announcement coming right after, even though when Musk was at the White House and even in Saudi, and then Musk trying to sort of take the momentum back. They've been going back and forth there. So yes, XAI and OpenAI in great competition. These two at each other, these one-time partners now at each other, and that's not going to stop.
Well,
not going to stop.
It's reportedly Merge Labs, that's the brain-computer interface, raising $250 million. That doesn't, at an $850 million valuation, that's not going to put them anywhere near what.
No, not near what Neuralink is, but it's just another front in this ongoing war.
Now, I will tell you again, and go back to CoreWeave for a second. I mean, all of this stuff just is all involving high-speed computing, which we don't talk about enough. See, you know, if Jensen Huang were here right now, which I wish you were, you've got the obvious inference and you know, you've got training, but you also have high-speed computing, and we don't talk about it, and you need that. That's something that requires a gigantic amount of what's inside a data center.
Right. Well, I mean, Musk said to me in May, I got to buy 1 million GPUs. 1 million.
So then we should be worried
for the Memphis data center and the next.
Then we should be worried about the H20 in China. The people who caused. I've read about a half dozen articles in the last day about how China's way ahead of us in everything. I think they're way ahead of us in EVs. In everything else, it's just. We have an inferiority complex that is just revolting.
Really, you don't think the open source issue is of concern?
They're ahead of us in solar. No. They're ahead of us in EVs. They're ahead of us in battery.
We're ahead of them in intelligence.
They're ahead of us.
Oh, by the way, they also own most of the input you need in rare earths.
We're starting to develop.
And then they got this TikTok, even though it was banned in a law signed, upheld by the Supreme Court. And
never
still not
enforced.
And they got
getting into everybody's head.
And they got Sputnik, and they got the H-bomb because the Rosenbergs gave it, and that's why we're done.
That's the old war, my friend. Yeah,
that's what I heard all my life. Don't forget.
You don't think China became ascendant in your lifetime?
We're a great country that has pulled ahead with our building via CoreWeave and data centers.
We were not pulling ahead. We were always ahead.
Well, I'm just saying I don't want to get down on ourselves. My father worked for the Chinese. They treated him unbelievable.
Are you like the new BLS? You're just going to give us false narratives?
That's from the 2020 video. The year
Order
2020.
filled.
Order filled. Remember that. which means that we don't even have to have numbers anymore.
No, apparently we're not going to necessarily have an employment number.
Chinese got rid of numbers.
By law.
Chinese gave rid of numbers, and all we do is talk about how brilliant they are and how great they are and how they're ahead of us. We have to go because we're capitalists and they're communists. They can stay all they want.
That's right. They kill
breaks. They kill breaks left and right.
They don't have ads. The commies don't have ads, but we do right here.
Order submitted.
We'll get Kramer's Mad Dash countdown to the opening bell. One more look at the pre-market as we're eyeing some fresh highs today. Don't go anywhere.
Order submitted.
At Morgan Stanley, old school hard work.
Good morning. Crazy market, always all-time high.
Industry, economy, generation. Because grit and vision, working in lockstep, puts you on the path to your full potential. Order filled. New World Ideas. Morgan Stanley.
There's some things that work better together.
36.
Order submitted.
Retirement savings. Order helps you choose the right amounts without over or under investing. Savings options, so you can feel confident in your financial choices.
They really know how to put two and two together. Oh, yeah. Well planned, well invested, well protected.
Hey, your customer service people resolve issues faster, so their customers are even happier. Another thank you for you. Those macaroons?
Don't even think about it.
Nope, I'm not thinking about it.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Agreed. Wealth management begins and ends with you. Personal solution, the more powerful the result. We reach your goals as a room. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there.
3 minutes. Looks like it's at the overbought now area. Yeah. 15 minutes. Looks like it's still got a little bit more upside. It's gonna be hard.
The caregiver at home. Makes it easier to find the right fit.
Oh, fish is deep on short. I have a couple accounts short, but I didn't mean to get 2 NQ short at 26 by accident, so I'm stuck on that. NQ minis. 3,000. It's 100K tick tick. I didn't mean to hit that, go big on that one. Oh. I don't even know. Yeah.
6.5 minutes before we get started with an opening bell here.
Hopefully we dip at open.
Watching everybody assemble here, taking their pictures. Yes, there are children. Yes. People said that about Polish. They're the future. The children. Just stop. All right, let's get to a bad dash. Want to talk a little Palo Alto?
Yeah, okay, so Palo Alto's been just annihilated ever since it bought signed by CyberArk. People say, oh my God, what are they doing badly? What are they doing? Why is they capture more for anything CyberArk? No, it's a shrewd buy, but this is really an affront to Nikesh. And I have to tell you, I think Nikesh is the real deal. He came out of SoftBank. He's been running Palo Alto for a long time. Took it to a $100 billion company. And this is a buying opportunity. I'm telling it to people, my travel trust, tomorrow when we have our monthly meeting. That's front. I just gave you a front run.
You did.
Yes, I will. Yeah,
you like it here.
Oh, I love it.
Particularly off the weakness from the announcement of the CyberArk deal.
McCarty was of CyberArk. I've known them.
Order filled.
Oh, damn. What the hell? Wow.
Order submitted.
When you get hacked, they shut down everybody right now.
Order submitted.
That's what Nikesh does. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the short.
I do. Is that Tom Farley?
He's going to join us right here. All right, we got a lot more for you, including, of course, that IPO coming up. But bullish opening bell 5 minutes from now. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hit 23.9. Yeah.
Streaming platform from the #1 source in business news. Watch live or on demand. At any market, anytime, anywhere. Start streaming. Go to cnbc.com/plus. Now.
Come on. Let's get some pullbacks.
The $7,500 federal tax credit for eligible electric vehicles is ending. Must take delivery by September 30th, 2025.
Oh, not.
Your local Cadillac dealer today.
Finding the perfect balance of surprise and delight is the key to a truly unforgettable mountain vacation.
So fish shorted at 33. Jeez.
Order filled. The expected, where you're sure to find it. At Beaver Creek. Book your getaway today.
Behind this family's financial future is their advisor, helping them grow their wealth and share it across generations. And behind their advisor are Vanguard's institutional quality bond funds, powered by smart, repeatable strategies. Fact is, 90% of Vanguard's active bond funds outperformed their peers over the last 10 years.
Oh, I need to touch this.
Order filled. Get behind that.
Are you backed by
Order submitted.
quality bond funds? Vanguard.
We got 3 minutes.
The digital gold that is data has never been more important.
I know we're prepared. We've done the hard work. We're going to keep getting better to serve our clients.
Nuveen invests with a foresight and vision to anticipate the needs of future generations. Order filled. Build strong portfolios that deliver lasting legacies.
Order submitted.
Just a moment. Years of yesterday's
I do need a poop. Well, I have some position open, so I don't wanna.
Future is watching.
Got another company going public today. Crypto exchange bullish set to debut here at the NYSE. Prices at 37. That's above the expected range. Bullish CEO and former NYSE president, as Jim and David just mentioned, Tom Farley, going to join us on set later on this hour. Jim, the crypto exchange, CoinDesk involved.
Wow, CoinDesk for great information. Great letter from our CEO, of course, who's Farley. The interest on, say, Reddit. Wow. I mean, I don't know how they're going to be able to open this one. This one is considered to be the institutional Coinbase, David. There is a allure of this one. Big time companies are trying to get in on this.
Right, 1 minute.
You know, like this, what's wrong?
New all-time high coming up.
The growing ecosystem around crypto, whether it be not just Bitcoin, but Ethereum, stable coins, and so many other things. And we are seeing.
Order filled.
Order submitted.
It doesn't worry me, but it is worth noting. Yeah, it could be.
Morning Mountain. Oh, all-time high. Wow. There you go. That's a nice dip. What's up, man? Crazy day already. Yeah. All night too. Yeah. Glad I stopped early last night. I would have blown all my shit trying to short. Holy fuck. This market sucks. OPEX is this Friday. Oh dang. Yeah, maybe 24,000 we can go long. Yeah, my QQQ puts for October is down 15% now.
Once again, the president was angry about certain things. Now we have to go toward the last bit. I hope he reads that book that I suggested.
Order submitted.
What is the book that you recommend?
Order cancel order.
Order filled.
Wow.
Chamber
Order submitted.
Czechoslovakia went right to the meeting.
Order submitted.
Sold out Czechoslovakia by selling out 1/3 of it, which was Sudetenland, and then there was Czechoslovakia was defenseless.
Guess that was a dip.
So I think you order
filled.
Ukraine's not there at the table. So Zelensky, you can't sell them out. Don't sell them out like Chamberlain.
Well, he saw today for this digital meeting with Trump and European leaders. The Journal does have a piece about this surprise military push by Russia.
Order filled.
Order submitted.
Hitler didn't have that. The generals actually just did not believe it to pull off what he did against Chamberlain, because Chamberlain was the buffoon. Peace in our time. But I mean, I know that's far afield.
Yeah, it's a little far afield.
Well, it's from perspective.
Order filled. Interesting. And I always like your book recommendations. I even take some of them.
Dang.
It's not as good as your tweet about Palantir and 200. Got some heat on this.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
It's short at 33. He says deep short.
Sort of giving you some heat on being bullish.
Probably thinks maybe he thinks the world is flat. Maybe he's flat world. David Palantir, who may get in the way of that juggernaut? No. You know how many people short that? You know how many people short that? And they don't even know that. One guy called me and he goes, "Listen, man, I'm short this stock. I don't know if you know it. Planter."
I know you both.
That's like video.
Order submitted.
A lot of the multi-manager funds, a lot of the big, they have factors. They have lots of different factors they follow, and one of the key ones, perhaps number one, is momentum. Short-term, longer-term momentum.
Order filled.
That's a nice truck.
Order submitted.
People work at Palantir, and they are geniuses. The people work
Order
at it,
submitted.
they're hardworking. And it's an ontological
Order
place.
filled.
Order filled.
Order submitted.
But I do think that having read and studied out,
Order submitted.
I don't want to take the other side of the trade. I think the guy is a serious competitor.
Order canceled.
Today, I think they are worrying about what they call
What's up, man?
valuations.
Order
Order filled.
We do have Cisco tonight, which is actually one of the
Order
cheaper
submitted.
large cap tech names.
So that's Chuck Robbins. I mean, it's
Order filled.
Submitted.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay, I hit my target on my funded futures on my funded one, so I should stop. But I want a bigger buffer. Okay, this is the one on my second payout, so I'm kind of low on the DD. I'll just size down.
Order submitted.
I gotta flip my ETF too. I blew the other ETF, the funded one. Yeah. Well, no, that's from yesterday. I didn't have that much DD left, so those are gone. I got 3 more coming in after I flip. Crazy market though.
I'm gonna move on from that.
I've been shorting. Fish, I think fish stuck at 33. He's a deep in the short. Yeah. Well, overbought for sure, but it's not going down at all.
Seems to be concerning a lot of investors this morning. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. I'm just mentioning it. Some news from Amazon Grocery as well, so you can take a look.
Amazon expanding their grocery delivery. They say 2,300 locations by the end of the year.
Order
We're
submitted.
looking for that because I know that is so crucial to
Order
their
submitted.
strategy. Now we keep thinking about Amazon having a bad quarter, right? Do you remember that? Because of Amazon Web Services.
Let's go. Let's drop it, baby.
Short-sighted nature. If they were to fall and give NVIDIA the order that what's that? I'm trying to look at my computer to read what Carl just said. Do that when I'm talking. I can do both. How many times do I have to tell you? Give you a piece of chewing gum. See whether you can walk over there. Both. I can't even do that. I'm like Gerald Ford, right? That's not the people was the running back in Michigan. Of course he could.
Wait, what the fuck?
Was he running back or was he on the line? What is running back? That's cool. No, but you know what I'm saying. I do. I know so many things you're saying. I don't even understand what you're not saying when you say it. But just for a moment, stop and think about the fact that Amazon is now saying we'll have same-day delivery of groceries in 2,300 cities. It's so killer. 2,300 cities by the end of the year. The whole Foods Forest state here. I don't know. The same day. I mean, I can remember when I did that documentary we talked about many years ago at this point. One of my subjects sat down and said, we're going to have same day. I thought it was the funniest thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, these guys are on the move now. Alexa is no longer stupid. Alexa's kind of like now like fourth grade. These guys are making moves. And everyone's focused on that percentage point of Amazon Web Services. Wake up, smell the coffee.
Speaking of food, Jim, Kava was on Squawk this morning. Comps for Kava in Q4 were 21%. Then they went to 10.8. Now they're 2.1. And Brett Schulman talked about it this morning on Squawk. Take a listen.
Now, even before our IPO, I told the team, stocks will go up, stocks will go down. But what really will define us is how we build this over the long term. We're not doing this for the next 10 weeks. We're doing this for the next 10 years and beyond. And so we're focused on that. And when you look at some of the metrics in the quarter, we beat our EBITDA, we beat our EPS, and our
order filled.
Order filled. Our
Order filled.
openings.
Order filled.
Order filled.
Order submitted.
We're more confident than ever.
Of course, Sweet Green comps were down 7 and
Order submitted.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Not mentioned on the call.
Order filled.
Expensive. You're talking about
Order submitted.
Yeah.
$14.10 when I go to the company.
Order filled.
Good thing I didn't short last night. I went to bed. Doc shorted. He blew up last night.
Chili's, though.
Order submitted.
I'll doc. He blew his Phidias and then his Bonox. Yeah, Phidias he got payout. I don't think the Bonox he did.
No, I know when I pulled the top numbers down, but you want to see pull the top numbers down.
Come on, baby. Give it some more drops. No, I don't want 25K.
You don't even know. No, I don't. All right. You all right? I'm just a little bumped, frankly. You're a little what? 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 What are you bumping? Because I'm coming with everything I have. Yeah. And look, here's Kava. Here's the numbers, Kava. Yeah.
Oh, forgot to touch my
I've just got Tom Farley. Get the letter.
trade day.
Good. Then you'll be at the letter.
Order submitted.
You're ready to. Let's bring him in. The aforementioned Tom Farley, because for today's new listing here at the big board is a crypto trading platform backed as well by Peter Thiel. Joining us now, head of first
Order
grade is the
submitted.
CEO, Tom Farley. Good to have you back, Tom.
Fellas, great to see you. So good to be back after too long.
And it is
I'll come down. I hope. Yeah.
We did not speak to NASDAQ. It was never a question. I just took a photo with Stacey Cunningham, Lynn Martin, and Jeff Sprecher. That was a very proud moment for me. The four kind of past leaders of the New York Stock Exchange. It's great to be back here with everyone, seeing the security guards walking in this morning and Courtney, the photographers, and especially the three of you.
Of course, post 9. Feels like I'm down under your yes. Well, we're happy to have you here, in particular on a day when obviously you've got a company that has come public, as you brought so many others or watched so many others through the years of your time here leading the NYSE. All right, let's talk about bullish. Your focus, as we said, is on institutional investors. I think I want to make sure that's correct, but
Let's see, what else should I trade?
has versus Coinbase or Binance. Can you explain that?
Order
Why
submitted.
you've gone that road and why that is a growth path?
Yeah, great question. So we operate an exchange, and then we operate an
Order
data business
submitted.
that also has Coindesk,
Yes.
and a conference business.
Order
We
submitted.
wake up every day saying, how can we service institutions throughout our organization? We have over 1,000 customers, which is quite a number in the crypto space, which is still growing. And it feels like this may be a good time for crypto because you see the Genius Act coming out of Congress, the Clarity Act that came out of the House are providing an easy on-ramp for institutions to drive into crypto. The last leg of growth in crypto, the last 10 years, was basically all retail. And if you look now, the institutional wave has begun. It's here. It's a question of how big it will be. But just based on the reception we've gotten thus far as part of our IPO, it feels like institutional investors think this could be the moment.
Well, it feels like every day
Nice
we have
drop.
a capital raise for a company that's following the MicroStrategy strategy of selling stock to buy some underlying, whether it's Ethereum or Bitcoin. We've got stable coins all over the place. I mean, how big do you think it will be ultimately?
Order
In
submitted.
terms of when you point to investors and your opportunity here in this ecosystem, what kind of a potential growth rate are we talking about?
Well, I think the opportunity is absolutely gigantic. And let me describe. Up to this point, there's been tokenization that hasn't.
I think Fish is green now.
to speak of it, you keep the traditional finance stack and you create a token that's sort of contractual.
Yeah, he's short at 33 before open.
Congress has really created a path with this establishment of a mature blockchain in the Clarity Act, where you can imagine regulators saying, you could just issue your stock on a public blockchain. You could just issue your treasury on a public blockchain. The title to your house can be on a public blockchain, as long as that blockchain is trustworthy and free from, attack and isn't under the collusive control of one or multiple parties. That opportunity is the financial markets. And I do think, look, it may turn out this is a moment of special exuberance. I mean, you see Coinbase was the largest exchange in the world by market cap. Certainly the Circle IPO, the stock was up by, you guys remember, 11 times, 12 times. It may turn out to be exuberance, but what the market is telling us is that potential isn't so crazy anymore. We may see major markets and major institutional players move massive asset classes on the blockchain. And as you guys know better than anyone, at this place where we sit, massive change only comes about if there's technological
Two raised over $1 now.
and regulatory acceptance.
But I just want to stop you there because you're saying something.
Time to sell some more shares.
You seem to believe that stocks and bonds at some point may trade tokens.
I do, but I'm pragmatic, and I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. These things happen slowly, much slowly. That is what the market's telling us. I've met with 80 investors. I've met with CEOs of the major Tradeify exchanges, and everyone is talking about it now and saying, hey, what's the path? Because it's feeling more real now. And by the way, you had a head of the SEC who made a comment. Crypto and America have one thing in common: freedom. So you have a regulator who's actively looking to promote blockchain technology because it is more transparent, it's more efficient, it's more secure. So that's the opportunity. The opportunity is enormous. I'm not telling your viewers that's happening overnight, but that is the opportunity.
So if the regulations got any more clear, is it the tech that now needs to catch up?
Yeah, well, it's the regulations. So in this country, nothing has changed yet with the regulations, right? The Genius Act is just passed. In fact, Congress said, SEC, OCC, CFTC, go away and make the rules. It's still early, and the rest of the world is creeping in. All right, this is going to take time, Carl, but it's really exciting.
You think foreign governments are as bullish?
Ooh, nice. Nice drop.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I share one other thing? Just to perhaps break a little bit of news here. One thing that we did in our IPO that was a bit different, we allocated 3 million of our 30 million shares to retail.
Just gonna answer that, because Reddit is filled with people with 10 shares. It's very exciting.
So we had billions in demand from that segment. I think the total number, don't hold me to this, of total demand approached 30 billion. And we looked at it and we said, we want to break the mold here, and we want retail to participate. We think retail is underinvested and underestimated with respect to their sophistication.
Give it time, it's gonna drop more. Either today would dip or tomorrow because options expired Friday.
We just feel like, frankly, just selfishly, retail may be the marginal price, right? But we also think they're underestimated in terms of their sophistication. So that's one thing that we've done differently here with bullish IPO.
It is interesting you say that because, as per you, 24% of this could be big. There are a lot of visionary retail people who move institutions. Remember, you have someone like Jamie Dimon who was talking this down at the same time that people were already making fortunes. This has been something that actually, and you talked about freedom, it really did start with individuals who had a vision. And it's usually institutions that have a vision. You got to be excited about the fact that this is a groundswell.
Jim, the craziest thing I ever did in my career, and I have Jeff Sprecher to thank for sitting, he's right over here, for sitting here at this chair. In 2013, I went to Jeff and I said, my neighbor, this kid Danny, he's starting a blockchain company. Can we put in $10 million? And Jeff said, that's nuts. I love it. I'm in. And we put $10 million into Coinbase. Right.
I did not know that. And what kind of return did you get there?
Right back up. Wow.
To this idea of blockchain as this layer of programmable finance for a decade, and it didn't happen. I told Jim said, well, why are you such a big fan? I said, oh, the institutions are going to love this, and it could disintermediate the New York Stock Exchange. I was dead wrong on all of that. Well, the timing was dead wrong. I'm back here. 11 years, 12 years.
That it's still to be happening. Yeah. Did you get a vig on that at all? Nothing?
No, but on my earnings call when Jeff harvested 1.5 billion, he said, my former colleague Tom Farley did this deal, so at least I have to give him credit for the one good thing he did. Hey guys, before you push me off here, one quick thing. We had a roadshow Monday through Friday last week. Red-eye to Vilnius, Lithuania, and my daughter Tegan, one of the 3 apples in my eye, won the gold medal in the World Junior Rowing Championship for Team USA. And I just want to say, I love you and I'm proud of all the hard work you put in. I flew back Sunday night, we got back to the ocean. My older daughter Maeve rose for the Hoyas.
Nothing better. Tom, I do want to end on business. And congrats again. To great both things. You're going to use some of the proceeds to buy stablecoin, is that correct?
Absolutely. We're taking the proceeds in stablecoins, $1 billion in stablecoins. A lot of those are going to be partner stablecoins that our customers were going to take a sprinkling of them.
Oh yeah, Trump comes on today. What's the name, Tony? Let me check. 11:15 Eastern Time. Yeah.
I think this is probably the first IPO in history that's actually taken the proceeds in the future as well. So,
I want to jump in a short. I think I might get a small position.
Order cancelled. Order filled. Order submitted.
close to taking this back to May when we were at 383. Stay with us.
Order candle.
There we go. ES? Oh. Oh wow, ES is 6,500 now. Holy cow.
The Bond Report is brought to you by PIMCO, a global leader in active fixed income.
Order submitted.
Luke and Jason from Fire Department call.
Order filled. Order submitted.
We make coffee that supports our community. And Walmart's played a big part. You know, most of what Walmart spends is made, grown, or assembled right here in the U.S. So we can invest back into our community.
Walmart, huh?
Who knew? Now you know, Jerry.
And that is how you grew a mighty fine American business.
You have level 2 data or no?
Hope isn't a good retirement strategy.
Q-tip?
Order canceled.
Comfortable retirement for years.
Oh, it's free.
Now you need to plan for retirement income.
That's cool.
Avoid common mistakes like being too conservative or not setting retirement goals. Have someone on your side to keep you on track. Call for Fisher's Comfortable Retirement Kit with the help you need to make your retirement a success, including the Investor's Guide to
Order
Comfortable
submitted.
Retirement, 13 retirement blunders to avoid, and maximize your Social Security. Call 1-800-759-4477.
Order filled.
Fisher tailors a plan to keep you on track for retirement you want. And as a fiduciary, we
Order
do better
submitted.
when our clients do better. Call now for your Comfortable Retirement Kit. Call 1-800-759-4477. Call us today. You don't have it coming to you unless you plan for it. If your portfolio is $1 million or more, call 1-800-759-4477.
Order filled.
So you made back all the L from yesterday on its Apex. Oh no, Thai Blue. It's TPT.
Gold standard clinical trials. It's time for the next generation of AG1. This is my coffee shop.
One less on the challenge now on TPT.
For the team. It was so easy. I just chose my product.
I think we are.
And placed my order. Bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at custommade.com.
This one's lasting for a long time.
AT&T's internet works in minutes. It's so easy a baby could do it.
Creed?
Whose baby is that?
It's okay. I asked. Oh, the baby.
It's only
Is
9.
there a baby in here? We're setting up the internet. Job. Yes, it is.
How did he do?
He was fantastic. He helped set up our internet. Your season is nearing the finish line. We're rounds of reckoning. Each hole a test of nerve. The FedEx Cup playoffs, the EW Championship, live on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
I don't know if it's
No
me on
move, though.
vacation. This has just been up 22%. Remember, there's not much of a flow here. The news, obviously, the UFC deal.
Oh yeah,
talked to,
Q-tip. Who goes to do?
Mark Shapiro from TKO, 7.7 billion over 7 years that Paramount's paying, but
Order submitted.
You can ask Gambit.
again, it's backing off a bit. It's just been up 22%.
Order filled.
Also keeping an eye on Warner Brothers Discovery because that's kind of sharing a little bit here. Up about
Order
6%.
filled.
Keep shorting.
See if there's any more to it.
Yeah. It's in and out real quick. I just hate long when it's all-time high.
It's changing what I believe is possible when it comes to weight loss.
That helps adults with obesity lose weight and keep it off. Don't take if allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck. Stop setbound and call your doctor if you have severe stomach pain or a serious allergic reaction. Severe side effects may include inflamed pancreas or gallbladder problems. Tell your doctor if you experience vision changes, depression, or suicidal thoughts before scheduled procedures with anesthesia. If you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or take
Order submitted.
11:15 a.m. Eastern time. If he's on time. Yeah.
Can cause dehydration and worsen kidney problems. Ask your healthcare provider about Zepbound. Explore savings options today.
This celebrate 200 store.
the latest styles
And top-notch features.
at mind-blowing prices and free treats for the whole family in our cafe.
Oh shit, my short just got hit. Hell yeah. Let's go. Made 400 on that short. Nice. Nice.
Order
Order filled.
Order filled.
That was nice. Oh, my bad. That one's good.
Over 40 unique flavors. There's peachy, creamy creations flavor for craving in Texas. Just one more reason. Here, everything's better.
Save 50% on select styles, beautiful new carpet,
That nice
hardwood,
short.
vinyl, and laminate from Empire Today. We'll beat any
Yep.
competitors off. Guaranteed. Visit EmpireToday.com.
Order canceled.
Go, baby.
Order filled.
Oh, hell yeah.
Order filled.
I'm done. I should stop. May payout on TPT again. How much I got? $64. Okay. I want to get more money. Come on, give me another pump so I can short.
Too much for dinner for a family of 5.
What's crazy is even at their low price level,
That was
their
nice.
operating margin jumped 4 points.
That's because he's a great operator.
You think,
He understands things.
think we lose 24,000?
There's one near me, and when I go, it is like I walk out like $30 for two. $30. Never been more than that. Fantastic. With tip.
Jim, we'll see you tonight. 9:26 p.m. Eastern time.
Great job.
We are 28 points away from 6,500. Stay with us.
I want to be short.
Order filled. Order submitted.
The digital gold that is data has never been.
I'll average down. I just want more TPT money.
Order canceled.
There we go. That's $70. Okay, I need $30 more dollars.
Submitted.
Gambit won't be on today. He has to go to a funeral. Good shit. This is for payout, right? Is that one your third payout on? No, it's not. It's a lightning. It's not the. Good shit. Good shit. Is it a free one or the one? This one you actually pay? Is the free one still alive or the toast? Damn, still? After 2 payouts? Wow. Nice shit. Yeah, for sure you're gonna beat last month.
And I can use our savings to do the things we want to do. I'm glad I don't have to shop for a new plan every year.
That's right. Once you enroll, your coverage is guaranteed for as long as you keep this plan. Have questions?
I'm really short on those 50K.
Insurance agent or producer. They know a lot about what makes these plans smart now and really smart later. Or just ask for this free guide. Benefits and rates in one place, so it's easy to compare options. Year to year, 94% of members renew their plan. And Medicare supplement plans with the AARP name are the only Medicare supplement plans endorsed by
Order
AARP,
submitted.
meeting their high standards of service.
Me another pump so I can short.
Yourself and your future self up with an AARP Medicare supplement plan from United Healthcare.
Winnie, look at you. Thanks again for looking out for me. We're in this together.
An AARP Medicare supplement plan from United Healthcare. Smart now.
Bye.
Be smart later. For plant-based healthy blood pressure support, there's one brand that stands above the rest. It's Superbeats by Human, the #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended meat brand for heart health support. Find out how to get a free month with your first order at livehuman.com. Get exclusive reporting and data on high net worth investors, family offices, and alternative investments.
Good shit, Chris.
Authority on private wealth.
Ooh, might lose it.
$100 trillion will pass to younger generations. But today's wealthy invest differently. It's not just about stocks and bonds, but also real
Oh,
estate,
wow.
classic cars.
Special access to events at cnbc.com/inside.
Yeah, I think a lot of people trying to buy the dip's gonna get caught. Oh, wow. Yeah, 3 minutes curving down. My trade station chart is short on the 3 minutes. Hey, we might go red. Let's go. Fuck this market. I shouldn't be greedy. Damn, dog made 1,000 a trade day.
The two-year yield also lower, 3.6%. Coming up this hour, as President Trump rails against Goldman Sachs, we'll talk to the firm's chief U.S. economist about tariffs, inflation, the criticism from the White House. Plus, we will be joined by the CEO of Bugatti Computing, Quantum Play. That's up nearly 2,000% just in the past year as that company reports earnings. And some surprising new names being floated as potential replacements for Fed.
Yeah, he was short at 33. So he's milking it now.
Today, they didn't see great same-store sales. They saw flat traffic, but they're not blaming on inflation and a weak consumer. Listen to what the CEO is saying about it.
We haven't seen.
I don't think it's gonna hold.
Mitigating any cost pressures to pass through to our guests. Remains to be seen what's going to happen at the end of the year, but no pressure on the labor front either.
Sounds like they had a problem with steak costs from last year than they did with inflation and weakness in the consumer.
Let's go, baby. Man, I wish I kept my short. I shorted at 50 too. Oh, that bot. Yep, bot went short now. Hell yeah, finally. I'll let it pump and I'll re-short.
You could see that big, okay, look recently. There's a spike up on the election, small businesses were excited, and then we saw this big plunge in confidence because of the tariffs. It's on the net. It is coming back. It is at a 5-month high. And all I'm saying is that if you're looking at some of these signals, soft data, commentary, anecdotes, I mean, there's no big alarm bells when it comes to the economy, I would say, or inflation in some of these reports.
Interesting. We always mention some of
That Wii stock was a good long hold.
The percentage of respondents, though, who said that
Went up over 100%.
were their number one problem did jump to 11. That's the highest in about 4 years.
Yes, but you know what? It tied with the percentage of those that said inflation is their number one problem. And to me, here's the chart. The number one problem of inflation, only 11% said that. This number was like almost 40% back in 2022. 11% say inflation is the top issue, same as the sales are the top issue. The translation to me is actually, and David Rosenberg wrote about this as well in his note, this is fuel for the doves on the FOMC who say, look, we don't have to worry about inflation as our number one concern right now. There are signs of weakening demand. Inflation is not the problem. And just to emphasize that point further, they go really granular into this index. And
There we go.
They ask those looking to raise prices, businesses looking to guess what? That one fell. Those looking to raise compensation.
And I'm out. Holy shit. Wow, I'm off flat now. No position and hopefully it pumps. I need a pump so I can go back in.
It's actually a consumer that he said is now stretched and will have to make choices if, in fact, they get some price inflation.
I mean, that's one
I
way.
guess that's why he went to bed last night around this area.
Some signs of weakness in the labor market. Consumers holding up well, but there's weakness there. And then the Fed, which was really overly worried, or maybe overly worried about inflation.
There we go.
Maybe
Pump it
doesn't
back
need to
up.
worry about that quite as much. At least that's the signal from some of what we're getting today, like small business this week.
Let me check the
Speaking
3
of the
minutes.
Fed, let's
Order
turn to Steve Leisman because we have some
Order filled.
replacements for
Order
Jerome Powell that
submitted.
are being floated. Mr. Leisman broke that story. He's got the details for us, Steve.
Nice.
Order filled.
I'm out too.
David, CNBC learning that the Trump administration currently considering 11 candidates. That includes three names that have not previously been disclosed, all those to replace
He's on the phone.
Order submitted.
when his term expires in May. According to two administration officials, the three new names include Jeffrey's chief market strategist David Zervos, former Fed Governor Larry
Order filled.
Rick Reeder, well-known
Order submitted.
the chief investment officer for fixed
Order filled.
Oh man, Gambit. Lucky Gambit didn't actually, he's not on. He would have get wrecked trying to long. Yeah. Because I was at, oh, it's only a 6-point drop. No, he won't blow anything. It wasn't bad.
His decision, the size of the list and the process described suggests that decision is
Should I
not
keep
imminent.
trying on this
Would not offer a timetable.
pro? Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to milk more.
So-called potentially disruptive shadow Fed chair in place for several months before the chair's term ends. Though sharply critical on an almost daily basis of Powell for his failures to lower rates, President Trump has recently backed off the
I wonder if
threat to
he was
fire the
blown
chair.
up or not.
Many of the candidates have advocated for rate cuts and reform at the Fed, but have also supported in different terms, in different ways, the Fed's independence from the executive branch. Guys, tomorrow, right here on this show, Squawk on the Street will be live from St. Louis for an exclusive conversation with St. Louis Fed President Alberto Uccelette. Guys.
Steve, just want to go through all the open options that the president is going to have with the Fed, right? Because he's just appointed Stephen Byron to finish out the Kugler term.
Wow.
And then theoretically, if he doesn't reappoint, that's an opening as governor. Right? And then there's the Fed chair position next May, but how will they stay on as governor? So can you just talk about how many options he has here with all of these nominees and ideas?
Yeah. I mean, my expectation is Powell will not stay on as a governor. I think he'll follow the tradition of the chair stepping down from both positions, stepping away from the board, and perhaps enjoying a little time off after several tumultuous and very difficult years as Fed chair. So the president will have two open seats, is my expectation. I also understand that the more permanent replacement for the Kugler position being occupied by Myron will follow the decision on the Fed chair. So that will come later. And so at the end of the day, the Fed chair will have, depending upon if there are other people who resign.
Hey, we might get a red day today. And bought it short.
Are followed by or supported by rate decisions by the presidents. They can be more dovish than others.
I think we'll drop again.
It's interesting. 2-year obviously has been dovish in terms of the outlook for the Fed. 10-year
Fish is still in the short.
and looking at the Fed funds trade, there's a 100% chance of a rate.
Ruga, how you doing?
Still got the lead, 32% odds on that. Thank you, Steve. Steve Leisman.
Let's get to the broader markets on this.
Oh man, that's yesterday he was on the mic. He's like, hello. That's like, holy shit. Me and Gabby got fucking panic. Oh, Mugo.
Squeeze out all the bears and run to their fullest extent, start to rotate to include all those other stocks. I mean, seeing VIX in the 12s would not be weird because that's kind of where you get to in late summer trading if the tape is going to stay in
Good
this
shit, Mugo.
of just rotating away from any danger. Really jailbreak rally yesterday, so I would put it. I mean, even though people weren't really breaking.
Give me 420 so I can re-short.
A hugely adverse surprise to the upside to offset the downside surprise of the payroll report a week ago Friday.
Yeah.
I do think that you basically had this reserve.
Trying to trade less. I'm tempted to re-short right now.
That we're looking through the inflation numbers, and you're going to get the rate cut in September, and so that playbook was executed, right? By small caps, by lower quality, by cyclicals, by banks, all that was happening. Meantime, you obviously have the animal spirits trade revving up again. With the IPOs, with the M&A story, credit spreads are super low. It's fascinating, Sarah.
845 is my target. Another 100 points.
Not a lot of fatigue in the numbers. If you look at the
Damn. Fish got 73,000.
So the question is, why are we insisting this economy is screaming out for rate cuts? It's because
Nice work,
you
man.
can't kind of take away the rate cut expectation from the way the market is positioned right now, right? If we weren't
Nice
getting rate
work.
cuts in September, maybe discretionary wouldn't be outperforming. So it's kind of, it's a little
Get
bit
the payout. Yeah.
Do you think you can look at regional banks versus money center banks and say there is a part of the economy?
Once you're over the buffers, it's a lot easier to get payout every day.
Loans that are based on what the Fed is charging the banks, that has
Yeah.
lagged, and therefore, home builders have lagged and such. So maybe that's part of the economy that needs repair, or the Fed wants to get out in front of it.
Housing economy. Look, I don't think it's that the economy is screaming for rate cuts. It's that the Fed has by itself said that it's restrictive right now, that rates are high, and if risks are tilted to the downside with tariffs.
Oh, you made payout? Nice. Good shit.
It's kind of Goldilocks for the market.
Of course, and that's why the stakes are so low. I mean, it's for all the drama about who's going to be the next Fed chair and why they do something to the stakes are not that high.
Oh, it's for nice.
To anybody, it's going to say let's tweak rates lower when it comes September if we don't get an upside inflation surprise. So I feel like it's all pointed in the same.
That's what happened to. I think everybody had it. Like Google got the Apex with first PA 001. Yeah, I got mine at 002 on my Apex. Yeah, I just said Google. That's how they get you addicted and give you the first payout. Well, for your first payout? Oh, how long ago was it? Mine was last year when I started. How long ago was that? I always thought prop firm was a scam, so I never touched that until last year.
Picture ETFs today. We just signed the lease on our third shop. My assistant went to custom8.com to get new uniforms with all the
Ooh, look at that drop, baby.
great products, uploaded new art, and had boxes sent to all the shops. Makes it so easy. Get started.
When I get over 24,000, I can re-short.
You did. You took an idea, built a successful business, and made it look easy. But you admit, we remember what went into getting here.
Cat Daddy's taking his.
Those extra hours to finally enjoy the rewards. Our wealth management team is always here to work with you and every generation to come. Because there's nothing.
Dude, that's risky. Oh, that's not bad. PA04. That's not bad.
This year, there's something more urgent about being with your people and being connected.
I've been working on the moves. Be ready to tango. Visit msnbc.com/live25 to buy 4 tickets to Moves to Go Labor Day sale starts right now. Your chance to speak big on the hottest styles. Great new living rooms.
I got $300 buffer now. Well, not 300, 200. Sorry, I had I think 120 only. Yeah, keep pumping.
Travel can be a nightmare. Luckily, you rented your car on Turo.
Oh, Apex? You didn't YOLO? Yesterday? Why not? I know, but it's rebuild. You felt it's gonna rebuild again. You could have got 2 PA. It's $16, dude. Come on.
Just like they were wrong about so much else. I think that David should go out and get himself a new economist, or maybe he ought to just focus on being a DJ and not bother running a major financial institution. This in reaction, of course, to a note on tariffs from Goldman Sachs. The economics team, led by Jan Hatzius, citing that U.S. consumers have absorbed 22% of tariff costs through June, but that their share will rise to 67% if the recent tariffs follow the same pattern as the earliest ones. Joining us here at Post 9 is David Miracle, Goldman Sachs chief U.S. economist. What was the reaction on the economics team yesterday?
Give me 24,000 again. I had a short.
Well, look, we stand by the results of the study. I think it's very.
Oh, you shorted again?
Definitive conclusions about how tariff costs will be shared. But in principle, tariff costs can be borne by foreign exporters, by U.S. businesses, or by U.S. consumers.
Oh, damn.
Now,
there we go.
We've had tariffs in place for that very first round of China for about 6 months ago. I think we have learned a little something. Our conclusion is that U.S. businesses have borne most of the tariff costs so far because it takes time to negotiate lower import prices or to pass pricing.
$86. Okay, almost there.
If the most recent tariffs, like the April tariff, follow the same pattern that we've seen with those earliest February tariffs, then eventually, by the fall, we estimate that consumers would bear about 2/3 of the cost, foreign exporters would bear about 1/4 of the cost, and U.S. businesses.
Oh, you got stopped out?
Less than 10%.
Dang.
That probably sounds small.
Okay.
10%, but bear in mind that is a net number. If you are a company importing or using goods to sell in the U.S., you're going to get hit harder. If you are a company producing in the U.S. who is now protected from foreign competition, you can raise your prices and benefit. So those are our estimates, and I think actually they're quite consistent with what many other economists have found.
So our debate has been about whether or not the consumer at this point is so fragile that they won't absorb those price increases, and it'll fall on the company once again, the U.S. importer. Why wouldn't that happen?
Yeah, I think there will be some split. What we generally saw in 2019 was that a surprising amount fell on consumers, in part because companies did pass along much of the cost, but also in part because there were additional spillover effects, where again, if you're protected from foreign competition, you take the opportunity to raise your own prices. I agree with you that the consumer looked fairly fragile in the first half of the year. Consumer spending decelerated a lot, despite the fact that real income growth still probably quite a bit sturdier in the first half than it's going to be in the second half. Job growth is slowing, so labor income growth.
So get $900 back. That's good. Nice little check.
This all to be very inflationary when he announced tariffs, and so far we've had inflation report after inflation report that has not shown it feeding into the overall headline rate. I mean, a little bit of tick up here and there, but it's not. I mean, you have to be surprised that we haven't seen it in a bigger way. That's why the market is rallying now on the idea of
So one thing that I think we've learned
it got room to go down. I think we'll get new low a day.
Customs doesn't charge people every day. Sometimes those payment lags can be another one. So to expect to have seen all of this by June and July is just a little premature. We think so far the effects, I agree.
I want to jump in a short. I don't want to get stuck.
Consumer prices. That is a little bit smaller actually than the Fed's estimate. Their estimates have been a bit larger than ours. But I do think most of the impact is still ahead of us. I'm not worried about it. I think, like the White House, like Fed officials,
let me show the eval instead.
Price level effect. I see 2% for the same reasons it has been for the last 3 years. But I also think that these tariff effects will push in the other direction, probably push inflation above 3%. I don't think this will matter a whole lot to the Fed because now they have a labor market to worry about. And I think that's
I hate that.
CPI 3-month annualized. Has it not
I rather blow.
to 2.4 to 2.8 in 3 months?
There's a lot of volatility in these numbers. That's right. I think a very simple way of looking at this.
I wish day traders would lower the prices. I actually like them.
At a very granular category level,
Yeah.
But a really simple thing that you can do
I mean,
is just look at how core goods, which are affected by tariffs, have deviated from their pre-tariff trend versus how core services,
that
which are
payout's pretty quick.
have
The
continued
approval,
to
but not the payout.
decelerate as they have again in the last couple of years.
There we go.
Submitted.
That's right. So services were a little bit firmer. I think, it's a good illustration of the volatility we deal with every month that doesn't really fit the broader narrative. We had volatility in airfares, we had a jump in dental services, kind of a strange thing, but that sort of thing happens.
David, most people come to work every day in this country without
Nice.
the expectation
The average down.
going to publicly post that they should be fired. I'm just curious, did it send a chill at all for the team yesterday in your economics team? Does it change the way you do anything or look at anything or interpret the data?
We're just trying to do the best economic forecast that we can.
You're home now, Gambit? I thought you have a funeral. Don't blow your shit.
Later on this morning, don't miss the CEO of quantum computing.
My pros all good, Gambit.
1,600% over the last
Good that in tilt yesterday.
The streets take on some new numbers out of CoreWeave, which is almost 14% this morning. Don't go anywhere.
Order submitted.
This is a new chapter of Amic Micro.
You should short the rip because bot is short. Yeah, don't fade a bot. Cat Daddy's taking his family out to eat with their paycheck, their payout. So nice. Your son should take you out to eat, man. Once he get his My Funny Future payout.
Wealth isn't one in a bet. Luck is not a strategy. And success is discipline. You're serious about investing.
Yeah. No, yeah. You were killing it. Is Brian trading?
$600 a year. If you're 50 plus, you could save up to
Why don't you teach him? Make him useful.
So why don't you pick up your phone? Why don't you take this
We're gonna dump more. I want to short again when it goes back up.
See how we can cut your bill. If you're over 50, get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. Call Consumer Cell.
Push up so I can short. What a dip. Nice. Oh my god, look at these people. Pocket watching. Giveaway police. Well, I'll post on Discord. This little dick. Back in July. You actually go back all the way in July. Oh, this is funny.
Do you have a take on where all of the ultimate builders probably gets down? Watching hundreds of hours of this show.
Squawk Box, weekdays 6 a.m. Eastern.
Nah, we wait to short. Just let it pump. We're short again. Don't fade a bot. Oh, I gotta. I'm gonna pump the bot up. Yeah, I went up 30 points. Not bad.
Customers. The Bulls will say solid execution in this AI infrastructure space. Definitely a lot of bullish notes out this morning. But as you can see, the stock is down quite a bit, down 14%. No, not so much on fundamentals as it is about timing. Shares have absolutely ripped higher, about 120% gains since the last earnings report. And that kind of run up really set the high bar. And now, this is the key. We've got the lockup period expiring later this week, considering that the company just IPO'd this year, which means a flood of previously restricted shares could hit the market this Friday AM. The numbers from the report tell a mixed story. Yes, revenue growth was strong. The core wave, and we mentioned that in the intro, is spending heavily.
Oh, I need a pump so I come back.
We're talking about 4 to 5 times revenue and capital expenditures. That's been the no trade-off here, though. That's again what the Bulls will say.
Yeah, I'm off that. Everything's green.
Citi noted that while the open AI contract they talked about was already announced, new backlog additions were modest at just 200 million. So net new only 200, even though the company talked about a much higher number. Expect volatility.
It might. I want it to pump. What else? ES went short.
Keep our eyes on it through the course of the week. Christina, thank you. Christina,
What? Doctor blew his TPT? What the fuck? Yeah, he touched NQ instead of the MNQ on accident. Fuck.
Macron also said the president indicated any territorial issues would have to be
Damn, it's not that many players left.
President Volodymyr Zelensky traveled to Germany today for
I gotta do a checkup later today, see who's still active.
So the move follows the collision of 2 Chinese ships earlier this week that were chasing a Philippine ship. The USS China Shadow, the USS Higgins, and USS Cincinnati for about 30 nautical miles, but there were no incidents. And Amazon is now offering
Oh, you went long, didn't you?
grocery deliveries of perishable items for some Prime customers. Now that
I need to
includes
pump
milk,
more.
meat, and cheese. And the company announced the move today as it ramps up competition.
Yeah, I think we're still gonna go lower, Henry. There you go. Wow.
Cities by the end of the year.
Yes. Albertsons and Kroger both got
Right.
4% this morning. Solana, thanks. After the break, the legal landscape for big tech as AI startup Perplexity makes this bid for Chrome over at Google, and Elon Musk threatens to
My puts is almost green. Let's go.
Quantum. The CEO of Getty's with us with that stock up 1,700% in a year. He'll join us later this hour. Don't go away.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was 52. Yeah, you're right. Oh.
Some weeks. Innovation changes everything. With one investment, you can access the NASDAQ 100 Innovators who are rethinking the world. Before investing carefully, you need to consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more. Prospectus at Invesco.com.
Some people like doing things the hard way, like doing their finances with a spreadsheet instead of using Quicken.
That one bought a short.
Info together in one place and updates it automatically. How easy is that?
Secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 400 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret.
Come on, one more pump so I can be short.
Once in a lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. Call 1-888-870-6353. Call now when you receive a free bonus over a $55 value free with every order. Call 1-888-870-6353 to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
When I started Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I didn't know how to turn all this fancy prettiness into a classy-looking logo. But GoDaddy Aero does, with its magical AI powers. It not only creates it, it slaps that sweet thing everywhere.
Mazda gives you more. More comfort. More room. More peace of mind. When you leave nothing out, there's more to move you. Discover more at the Mazda Summer Sales Event. Current inventory remains unaffected by new tariffs.
Take advantage of one of these exceptional offers during the More to Move You sales event. Save big this summer with a bundle that has something for everyone. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus bundle.
Later.
Get it all for less with plans starting at just $16.99 a month.
Yeah, might get a new low day.
Company, and man, that's quite a move there, isn't it? No real news to back it up. I've been checking some of the message boards and Reddit, not seeing too much traffic there, but in terms of traffic, a lot of it in the stock itself. You've got a small float.
15 minutes got a lot more room to go down. 3 minutes is going down. It has a little more room, but it's close to the bottom, but not yet. So I want like a little pump so I can reach short again.
He's in jail now, of course, when he was buying up true swaps. Of course, the prime brokerage firms behind it didn't even know how much he owned of both Viacom at the time, or Paramount, and then also Warner Brothers Discovery, which, by the way, is also up.
Dude, I was down 300 something on my cash account. I'm still holding a one short. It's almost green now. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna hold up for 1,000 points.
Started Perplexity offering to buy Google's Chrome browser for $13.5 billion.
Oh, they do that Tradeify giveaway. You should join up, Gambit, before you leave. Yeah, it's in. I can start early. Yeah. I mean, yeah, not yet. Yeah, it's the same thing you tapped last time, the Bugatti thing. It's not yet. Not yet. It's gonna be the events. It's not the. This one has activation fee. That'll be my last one. Then I can get the other one next time.
This is in their own operation. They're a pretty new company, and the idea of making an offer that's almost twice as much of what
Yeah, it might bounce in a little bit.
pretty unusual. And at the very least, it also shows that the weakness they have in getting data. They've only recently, in July, started their own search engine in order to gather more data. This company's had problems scraping data off the internet, and they have actually been sued by some pretty big companies. And what this shows is that in order to get more data, they see Chrome as a strategic asset. But in order to do that, they have to have some sort of exclusive access to Google's data.
So how does it get received by the judge, do you think? Or at least, how does it change the dynamics of the case, if at all?
Well, one of the challenges, I've mentioned this before, is that things like divestiture is an unusual remedy.
And in this case, where the market is changing and Google's dominance is being eroded by AI, there's a question of whether divestiture is the appropriate or most effective remedy. It could be really going after their ties.
Well, isn't Trump coming on soon? Yeah, Trump is coming on in a little bit. Maybe that's why we're dropping. Within an hour? 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. So, yeah. Yeah. Let me do this Tradeify giveaway.
Speaking of Apple, I'm just curious to get your take as well on a separate story,
Yeah.
which is Elon
Let it
Musk
dump.
attacking the App Store and saying it's unfairly favoring OpenAI on its ChatGPT. Is there
Okay, it started.
Well, I think this is very
I'll
similar
tag
to
everybody.
situation that people are circulating and trying to find out what their strategic opportunities are. But it also says more about the weakness of where Elon Musk is right now.
Google.
It's not getting as much traction, even though they do.
Nobody believe me, Gambit. Tell me what it was a dude, right? Like a deep ass voice. Don't lie, Gambit. Told you. Like, hello.
This is one way to do it. But it's also important to remember that Apple's woes will take a long time to sort out in court. If they are sitting there trying to piggyback, if Nuts is trying to piggyback on the antitrust action that the DOJ has against Apple, we're only at the earlier stages of that.
We are. Okay. Their idea, though, being
Good
that
shit,
they're a
Doc.
gatekeeper who unfairly or is unfairly deciding who has access to a huge audience. That's right.
Yeah, let it pump. I always short it. I need 24,000.
Meantime, what's your general sense about the direction of travel in regulation right now? Is it reaching a point where it's becoming too loose, and there be dangers that are concurrent with that?
I think it's unclear. One of the things that's happened is there's
Gotta
been a
pick what kind of race we're gonna do today.
power in the executive branch to make decisions in this area. Don't forget, at the FTC, they fired the two Democratic commissioners, and then the chairman has said,
Yeah, let me see.
what the president tells him. So does that mean, the question mark for a lot of people out there in the street, does that mean when they're involved in litigation and there's a possibility of settlement, are they going to go to the regulator in chief on it?
It was good to be done trading now.
It's so unusual.
Yeah. You're right. You're coming back for Powwow, right? Yeah.
Issues dealing with is
Yeah, you won't make it.
is there industrial policy going on here?
Yeah, we talked about state capitalism. Obviously, we're still.
Wait, you pick up from school in Arlington, or the funeral was in Arlington?
Chips in China, which is unique.
Right. Absolutely. I mean,
God, that's a long drive for you. One more day. Is that lucid? Hell yeah. Good shit.
Also, good to see you. A lot to cover. Who's one who's created every day. Absolutely. It's a part of this environment.
Moments away, deep dive on quantum computing. What's
Killing it.
happened is
You are
Tradeify
killing it.
Organic Computing joins us as shares pull back just a bit from their blistering rally. Plus, key details on the new debut here at the New York Stock Exchange. Crypto trading bullish. We'll get you ready for the first trade here. Let's walk on the street. Comes right back.
It's 24 hours, so later tonight will tell us. I can see who's winning. Hold on, let me go back to it. Looks like the boys are winning. 16 votes to 8 votes.
Don't trust the unfiltered internet. Angie has 30 years of experience finding the best pros.
A lot of people need to replace their windows or patio doors, but they put it off because they think it'll be too expensive.
We're just chopping now to J Powell. Not J Powell, but Trump.
You really work with the customers to find affordable solutions.
We do. We're the replacement window division of Anderson, one of the largest window manufacturers in North America. So we can usually offer our customers larger discounts and better financing than smaller companies or contractors.
Other window companies don't offer your same window and door installation method.
Our installers have installed thousands of windows. Our windows are manufactured to precisely fit your specific window openings. Being custom built
Okay, this one's
if you have
cute.
any
I
beautiful
got it
trim that
now.
you'd like to keep, we can install your windows without impacting that trim. You won't get this with most vinyl windows.
Okay,
And
I'll
you
wait
offer
till
a
we
free
start.
window and patio door diagnosis.
We do. We'll come to your home and assess your current windows, show you where you might be losing energy, and take measurements. Then we'll give you an exact price.
So you're not a high-pressure company.
My background is in home remodeling as a carpenter. I've seen every window problem out there. So now I just want to help homeowners make their homes more beautiful and comfortable with the right
Go back
And
to
your
sleep.
patio doors are really gorgeous.
They are. And they're engineered to easily open and close for years. And with multiple locking points on our patio doors, they provide even greater security.
So great to hear, Michael. Thank you.
Before August 31st, buy one window or door and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off. Plus, get an additional $45 off each window and door with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 12 months. Call before August 31st to schedule your appointment. 1-800-918-0808. That's 1-800-918-0808.
I'm a wealth manager. Everyone needs to invest. It's going to be fun. We're going to take you behind the scenes and tell you the stories that are driving some of the most exciting names on your quote screen. We're going to show you exactly where the best stocks are and what's happening with them in real time.
Join Flo for exclusive access to Josh Brown's best stocks in the market at cnbc.com/beststocks.
Getting Computing reporting earnings after the bell yesterday, announcing the general availability of its FPSI 36Q multi-chip quantum computer. You can see the stock's down a bit. Results up, though, almost 1,700% over the last 12 months. Joining us in a CNBC exclusive is Rigetti CEO.
Yeah, it just chops on. I'm not gonna touch it. Wait.
What advances have you most recently reported that are giving you the confidence to believe that the scale you need to start to really take on the hopes and dreams of all of those who focus on quantum computing will be here in as soon as 4 years?
And David, thank you for having me on the show. We are excited to launch our latest system, which is a chiplet-based system. So it's 4 chiplets of 9 qubits each, so 36 qubits total, at an improved fidelity of 99.5%, or 2 qubit gate fidelity. That's accuracy of quantum processing. Very fast gate speeds, about 60 to 70 nanosecond gate speed. And that's available for general public now on the cloud environment. This follows a previous announcement of a single chip 84 qubit system that we launched end of last year. That's at 99.0% 2 qubit gate fidelity. So not only did we increase the fidelity with this new latest system, but we also deployed chiplet architecture. And the reason chiplet architecture is so important is
Nice.
that's
You
truly the
got
only
it.
way you can scale up quantum computing to have thousands, if not tens of thousands of qubits. And that's what we really want. You mentioned 4 years. We have said that we need to get the quantum advantage, which is when quantum computing can demonstrate superiority over classical computing for most practical applications. We need roughly 4 things. One is qubit count has to be at least 1,000 qubits. The fidelity, the 2 qubit gate fidelity has to be at least 99.9% or better. The gates have to be faster than 50 nanoseconds. And last but not least, it has to have real-time error correction. With those 4 things, we believe we will get to quantum advantage. That's when quantum computing we can take the upside.
Well, so what
Nice
technical
bump.
hurdles remain?
Give me
then?
24,000.
What are the most challenging? And obviously, you're competing here against the likes of
At
companies
80?
with a lot more
I'll go in with you. Let me know when you do.
the alphabet or IBM. So, how do you see the technical challenges evolving for you and overcoming?
there are significant challenges when you are doing complex technologies like quantum computing. I don't want to undermine the challenges. A key one that we have overcome is with the launch of chiplet architecture and demonstrating high fidelity with chiplets. There is a viable path to scaling up quantum computers to over 1,000 qubits now. So that's a key milestone that we
I
demonstrated.
might curve up more. Hold on. See, 3 minutes is near the bottom. Yeah, I don't want to rush it and get on the wait. Hey Google, you get your tickets on YouTube? Do you type it in? Do you have a mic? Why don't you just talk and stop typing? Yeah.
So we leveraging semiconductor industry know-how. We know how to improve it. But
That was pretty scary. What the fuck you typing tickets? That type Bugatti.
We're still trying to wrap our arms around what an AI future is going to look like and how it's going to transform our lives. What does a quantum
We should have shorted Gambit.
How do you envision that changing business?
Too late now.
You will be able to solve problems that are unsolvable right now.
It feels good not bag holding, dude. Yeah, I was bag holding since 9 o'clock yesterday, all the way to 4 o'clock. Yeah. I don't think anybody's blown because it's not really dumping or anything.
But also at a very small fraction of the energy consumption that classical computing consumes right now. So it's a double win with quantum computing, both on the computing side as well as.
Oh yeah, I got some tick trader straight to funded plus freebies. So I gotta do that this week. Yeah, I tell you to sign up and do your KYC, man. I ain't giving you shit, Google.
And the stakes involved with it. So there are many applications, many studies have been done about quantum computing. The business is expected to be hundreds of billions.
That was a good short if we took it. I don't know why I want too long, but I don't want to go against the bot again. I want a long now. I might try one little long. Maybe. Right, one time long. There we go. Long at 37 did not drop. It's okay, I hedged my cash account short.
And that's certainly a big order for us.
Yeah, got it.
That's where national security gets involved. All of us are aware that once quantum computers become bigger,
Google, say something.
Hack into any encryption code that we are using.
Q-tip been waiting.
Post-quantum cryptography, where people are trying to see whether we can use quantum computers to generate encryption codes. They cannot.
We got 17 minutes. What time are you leaving? 11 o'clock, right? Get it?
Which one comes first?
Alright, you got time.
Very high. National security is at stake. So all of us are fully aware of what quantum computers can do. And encryption is one of the biggest reasons why many national governments are taking significant interest in quantum computing. That's why national quantum missions from various different countries and significant funding by the US government along with other governments for quantum computing.
Real quickly, Subodh, finally, do you have enough cash to get you where you need to be?
Don't tell me stop. Mess up his payout.
Money we are sitting at the end of last quarter, we are sitting on about $170 million cash. And note that our burn rate right now is roughly in the $60 million range. So we have plenty of cash to get quantum computers commercial and get ourselves to a profitable stage. So we feel very good about that.
Subodh, thank you. Complicated topic. We're going to try and keep an eye on it as best we can. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your.
Meantime, Peter Thiel back crypto exchange bullish, set to debut here at the NYSE today. We'll tell you what you need to know ahead of that first trade as we are getting indications. Later on, COB Toro breaking down their first quarterly results.
Yeah, I got out though. Where did Google go? Get the mic. He's getting the mic. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Say something. That's your TV, Google. T. Well, Trump's coming on soon. Yeah. Cancel everything. Trump's coming on in 20 minutes. Yeah. Cancel all my short. I don't fuck with Trump.
Order canceled. Order canceled. Order canceled.
Okay, everything should be canceled.
Order canceled. Order canceled.
Dedicated to one quest, erasing that tumor and keeping her story alive because we were made for food.
The digital gold, that is data, has never been more important.
I know we're prepared. We've done the hard work. We're going to keep getting
Order
better
canceled.
for our clients.
Order canceled.
Alright, everything's canceled now.
Order canceled.
Insights, information, and all of the details that you need to make money.
Closing bell overtime for Easter and streaming on CNBC Plus.
Finding the perfect balance of surprise and the
Order
There we
canceled.
go. That's my last one.
truly unforgettable mountain vacation.
And there's one place to
Do,
go
do,
on the
do, do,
mountain.
do.
Book your getaway today.
USPS Brown Advantage. It's like your witness every step of the way. Stay in the know. Your documents, they're cool.
You got a lot of Blazer, Roy Wood Jr. This step up. What?
You know what's not a good joke when you have to explain it?
Writing stand-up specials.
I seem to believe that stocks and bonds at some point may trade as tokens.
I do. But I'm pragmatic, David, and I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. These things happen slowly, but suddenly. But that is what the markets tell us. I've met with 80 investors. I've met with CEOs of the major Tradeify exchanges, and everyone is talking about it now and saying, hey, what's the path? Because it's feeling more real now.
That was Tom Farley, the CEO of the crypto company Bullish. He's a former president of the New York Stock Exchange. That company, Bullish, going public right here today.
Yes, that's pretty good.
$37 a share above the original range of 32 to 33. Looking at indications that indicate 55 to 60 as well.
We got 12 minutes, guys. 12 minutes.
And I got some sense here in terms of the importance of this company. It's going on the market and just sort of trying to understand what it is they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you can see from those indications the way that
Chris, you type the tickets in?
since last week.
Alright, cool.
Bullish is a crypto exchange. That's how I hear it talked about a lot, but they also are the parent of CoinDesk. They, are in the business of data and indexing, and events, of course. I think it's really
What's his name? SK can't win anything.
of the crypto-friendly stance from the Trump administration by going public. We saw eToro recently.
72?
The uplisting of Galaxy
No,
Digital,
it's trying to curve up on a 3 minute. I'm not gonna short. No, what? Trump coming on, so I don't want to mess with anything.
We've seen BlackRock, start to put things like
But is he coming on though, for real? Because someone told me that, I'm not sure.
And it's just, I've been going to these conferences for years and years
All right.
as a crypto reporter, hearing all of these institutions talk about the future of tokenization, but it really is starting to feel very real. So Bullish is a little bit different from exchanges like Binance and and Coinbase, and that it is more institutionally focused, and it does kind of
Yes, okay.
decentralized finance protocols with the security of a centralized
They're spending like $1 billion on stable coins that they're going to be buying. They're using Solana as the not Ethereum. I don't know. I mean, are we going to see more? I mean, it's just even more coming.
I think so. And I think, and I go back to BlackRock, which you remember really took the lead when it came to Bitcoin ETFs. For 10 years, the crypto industry said it was so important to have a Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock jumps in, and we get it months later. And so I think you're seeing the same thing with tokenization. It's just starting to become a much more productive conversation versus, yes, that makes sense and sounds important, but this is finance and it's highly regulated and these things do not happen overnight. I do think Tom Farley said that these things don't happen overnight, but I do think it's becoming a much more productive conversation, and you are going to start to see some real integration, and especially after the SEC.
Man, I want to do something good today.
Crypto, to be able to reassess the rules and regulations, to be able to bring the traditional finance world on chain, so to speak.
Yeah, we tried to get, we did talk to Farley a bit about, certainly BlackRock's U-turn is essentially what it was. But also the things that Jamie Dimon had said about Bitcoin in the past, Charlie Munger had said about it. The institutions had sort of negative qualitative things to say, and yet they're all participating now.
Yeah, sort of the future, however you think of it, is moving in this way, and it kind of feels like the institutions are finally waking up to the fact that they're having to move forward.
My question is it getting crowded out there? I mean, bullish, you mentioned eToro, we'll talk to the CEO next hour, Robinhood. I guess they cater more toward retail.
Yeah,
versus institutional.
And there are institutional services there, of course. Coinbase provides the custody for so many of the ETFs, but they are, in terms of the exchange and trading business, where you're trading actual cryptocurrencies, a little bit more focused on the retail investor.
All right, thank you.
After the break this morning, a closer look at Compa today, getting slammed as the company reports some disappointing comps, now down 50% from the highs. More on the fall from grace from one of Wall Street's former darlings.
It's gonna get there. We're gonna get 24,000 again. We'll dump later, but not right now.
Users globally.
8 minutes into the Dino race. Let's see what freebies I have.
What they needed to make you all rock stars. Sorry.
Probably not gonna stream tomorrow because my wife was off, so I might go eat.
Now, we can manage our people and AI agents.
I don't know. Let's see what time she wakes up. I got 2 Lucid left. I'm running low on freebies. It's only half the month already.
We believe dogs should be able to get the daily nutrition without the excess processing.
Cool. Okay. Trade day. I gotta do the trade day next week. 100K in a day. You should try that one, Gambit. Trade day. I'm doing a giveaway next week. 100K in a day. That's the one with daily payout.
That supports our community, and Walmart played a big part. You know, multiple Walmart spends with their products made, grown, or assembled right here in the U.S. So we can invest back into our community. Walmart, huh? Look at that. Now you know, Jerry.
And that is how you grew a mighty fine American business.
This is a new chapter of Ambic Micro. With our solutions, we will enable edge AI everywhere. Your life will be changed forever.
Seabeds. Your company started in the kitchen.
Hello?
Now it has 3. Your team of 5 grew to an army of 500. And that's your logo, right there in marble.
That's big.
To grow your business from big to bigger, you need an advisor built for the middle market. Our data shows that this deal works.
Interesting. Very interesting.
County Advisory.
Yeah, Trump is coming on. 15 minutes, guys.
Come to the right place. Join the CNBC Investing Club to access Jim's monthly meeting. Go to cnbc.com/monthly meeting.
Here at Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange.
Ray, it's so cute. Bro, T-Rex is winning. Oh no, Google's coming up.
It's very sustainable. I think if you sort of
Who's gonna win?
see that basically the S&P 500 has been very steep, relatively narrow trend channel. Of course, it fell out basically after Liberation Day, but we recovered really back to the bottom of that channel, and we have really gone off the bottom. What I failed to mention is that channel is 23%. Annual rate.
That's a close race. Yeah, Gambit, you're not gonna win at the bottom. Me Love is out. Oh shit, who's gonna win? Nice. Like, who is this person? I gotta check your hours. I don't think you got 25 points. That's the thing. Yeah, you only have 6 points. I gotta redo it now. Again. So cute. Guys still trading? New low day, wow. Got almost 90 points, yeah. Oh, Ty, you're gonna win. Ten seconds. Who's gonna win? Oh, someone came up fast. Holy shit. Nice. I don't know you have 25 points in that. Yeah, that dog was fast. Yeah, you only have 7 points. Sorry. I had to redo it now. Alright, we'll race again. Oh shit, forgot to delete them out. Damn, thank you. Try a quick long. Shit, kept out short. Guess you're winning. Oh shit, Jenny. Jenny's coming back. Nice. I got confused. Is this the Jenny or the Jay-Z? Okay, it's Jenny. Yeah, you got enough points. I'll send you the code.
Seems to be a company by company kind of base here in terms of where the consumer is willing to spend money, and the stocks are kind of following suit. Like certain stocks, for example, like a Starbucks, are in the middle of a turnaround. McDonald's is faring a little bit better, and then if you look at a Darden or at a Brinker, and some of those casual brands that have really strong individual restaurants, like a Chili's or like an Olive Garden, that the consumer may perceive as a better value for their buck in this environment compared to going to a Cava or a Sweetgreen, which isn't a sit-down dining experience, right? You're seeing investors and consumers trying to pull away from some of those names. It's going to be a very interesting back half of the year, guys.
Kate, thanks so much. Kate Rogers joining us this morning on Cava.
As we've lost most of our gains on the S&P, now up only 4 points. Still to come this hour, core week down despite revenue and guidance coming in ahead. Wells Fargo's first reaction to results coming up next.
Plus, the CEO of Colliers is with us, one of the biggest names in commercial real estate, with new numbers about demand for office and multifamily housing. Stay with us.
I am done with that. Congrats. Oh shit, my short's gonna be green on my cash account. It's gonna lose 900.
Your entire first order at Fabulous. We've got everything you need to look and feel fabulous. Don't miss out. Get 80% off your entire first order when you sign up as a new VIP only at Fabletics.com.
Why should you trade options right on the stocks? Because they offer higher returns, are cost effective, and can actually reduce risk. Learn how in our new book.
I got the book and I read it in a weekend. And it's just like, wow, on a measurable level, I'm being successful. I have a couple.
Is Trump on yet or no? Dang, Bud did good with 100 points on the short. I might have to get out my short soon. Yep. I'm gonna close it out. I don't want to short anymore.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, Select found John a $500,000 policy for only $29.
Yeah, I got out. I didn't make any money, Gambit.
Insurance your family needs
at a price you can afford.
Yeah.
We shop, you save.
Let me go all-time high again. I'll re-short on my cash. Man, I wish we kept the short with the bot. Man. Easy money.
Your choice only $5.95. That's two great brands. Not a big single price. $5.95. Plus, check out our other great mattress buys at the Rooms to Go Labor Day mattress sale. Sleep better, save better.
I guess I'm not the easiest person to please. I like things just right. That's why I love Redfin. They show me homes that are perfect for me. Not too big.
The 3 minutes at the bottom now, so it might go up in a little bit.
Love having me here. We're like family.
You're done? Oh, you gotta go.
Spread my wings and
How much you? How much you make?
I know, baby girl.
Nice. That's good. Good shit. Yeah. Tell you, don't fade the bot.
Be working to track foreign chip exports later this hour.
Dang, that pump.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA. GA can become predictable and progress rapidly, causing irreversible vision loss. But with Izervay...
Shoot, we might hit 24,000 again. And I'll short again, but not now. Google. Google. Say something.
Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around
I
your
know.
eye. Izervay can cause eye infection,
I
retinal
know.
detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression, which may help preserve your vision longer. Slow your GA. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
If you're on Medicare and you get this, you could end up with this. Unexpected out-of-pocket costs. To be is a good reason to take charge of your health care. So consider this: an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan from United Healthcare. Why? Because Medicare alone doesn't pay for everything. And what it doesn't pay for...
I'm tempted to long, but I need another dip.
Paying some of what Medicare doesn't.
Oh, you want to reshort? Yeah.
A lot more predictable. Call United Healthcare today and ask for your free decision guide. Learn more about plan options and rates to fit your needs. Now, if you like this, greater freedom, you'll love that Medicare supplement plans have no networks and no referrals needed. See any doctor, any specialist, anywhere in the U.S., as long as they accept Medicare patients. These types of plans also give you more flexibility when traveling in the U.S.
What do you mean? On the funded? Or are you on the funded or on the other one? On eval? Yeah, it's on eval though, right? Yeah, it's 14 days. Why didn't you... I thought you were YOLO those. I can't trade those.
And want less of a pocket cost and more peace of mind, consider adding this. An AARP.
Well, you got what's today, Wednesday? You got PPI tomorrow. I can't wake up. Later, man. Send me some food. Shut up. Bye. Yeah, we should have shorted. Oh, I gotta end the stream.